Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Seattle Mariners and the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. On the left, our number one, our ace, Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. And on the right, Milwaukee's very own Jackson Churio. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting third, playing right field for Seattle, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting fifth, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting seventh, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting eighth, DHing today, the former Oriole, now Mariner, Taylor Ward. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for Seattle, Brock Rodden. And on the mound for the Mariners, our number one, 9-7 record, ERA of 3.28. It is Logan Gilbert. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Milwaukee Brewers. Leading it off for the Brewers at second base, Bryce Terang. Batting second, playing left field, Jackson Churio. Batting third, playing right field tonight, Jake Bowers. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Milwaukee, William Contreras. Batting fifth, DHing today for the Brewers, Christian Yelich. Batting sixth, playing first base, Andrew Vaughn. Batting seventh, playing center field, Luis Lara. Batting eighth, playing third base, Joey Ortiz. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Cooper Pratt. And on the mound for the Brewers with a 6-7 record, ERA of 4.13, the former Dodger and Cardinal, and now Brewer, Dustin May. Tridents up, let's go M's. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring out of the radio booth after this season, so every stream we will dedicate it to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. We're going to shoot 400 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Moose has got to come out early. And again, it can't get any worse than it did last night. And again, we just got to be able to, try to forget, about what happened yesterday and just, move forward. And luckily we have our best pitcher on the mound. And, again, if the Mariner organization had any pulse, they would send Bryce Miller to the pen and call up Cade Anderson. Obviously, Bryce cannot pitch. He hasn't won a game since July 2nd. His ERA is going through the roof. You already got rid of the other weakness, Luis Castillo. But again, he's pitching pretty well for the White Sox. And a lot of former Mariners typically do play well once they leave Seattle, regardless if they're a pitcher or a positional player. But again, it really just depends on if the front office believes that we can still make a run, or they're just going to try to take Cade as slow as possible. But again, Cade is having one of the best AA farm system records and ERAs of all time. And we definitely need help. And again, Bryce can't pitch, 5-6 innings. Same thing with Luis Castillo. If we were keeping him, we would need to transition him into the pen for a guy that can pitch maybe a half inning or two. So again, with Bryce Miller being the 5, it's kind of crazy because he was our number 1 earlier in the year after he came back from the injury. Started off very, very strong, winning the first 3 or 4 starts and looking amazing. But it's progressively gotten worse and worse. But now we just got to be able to hope that Logan Gilbert can, hold this, outstanding Brewer team to 3 runs or less, preferably 2 or less. And then we got to be able to get some runs, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we're able to do that, hopefully that'll be, enough to be able to compete. But knowing this Milwaukee Brewer team, you just never know what version you're going to get. And a lot of times they can put up 5, 10, 15 plus runs in almost any single game. So again, we just got to be able to put our best foot forward, and hopefully we can do that here tonight. First pitch from May to Brendan Donovan. Pitch is high and away with a 4-seam fastball. 1-0 count. Pitch from May. Gets the corner with the 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from May to Brendan Donovan. Jerry in the building, what's good? Daniel and Jason in the building. Hawks in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch, broken bat, and a hard hit ball towards first. 360 spin, and Brendan Donovan getting this tone started early, just like he did on pitch number 3 yesterday. Same thing. Pitch number 3 hit a double on the wall, splitting the gap. Today, pitch number 3, broken bat, explodes into 1,000 pieces, but he ends up getting to first base. Now let's just see if we can get the right people after him to be able to knock him home. Great job there by Brendan Donovan getting hits on the 3rd pitch of the game yesterday and here today. Nice single there for Donnie. Next up is Randy Arosarena. On deck is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Randy, popped up and out of play, 0-1 count. Yeah, originally I had, Donnie on the thumb, but I figured, we got to be able to have good pitching to have any chance. So I thought, let's throw Logan Gilbert on the thumb. And I'm a little superstitious with throwing pitchers on the thumb, but I think the image looked a little bit better, and I think the thumb turned out great. 0-1 pitch, low and away, cutter 94 miles an hour, missing. 1 ball and 1 strike from May to Arosarena. Got to win tonight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and we understand how tough this team is. I mean, they're literally 30 games above 500. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be 30 up and being a Mariner fan and having that be our record. Hopefully one day, but again, just seems like lately, we can make the playoffs one year and then the next year we don't. And then, the following year we do, and maybe the next year we don't. We need to be able to try to put together, 2-3 years in a row to be able to have that consistency. 1-2 pitch. And Randy with a little blooper to shallow center, and it drops. Let's go. Great start here by the Seattle Mariners on May. I like it. Great job there. Now we got runners at first and second. Donnie gets a hit on the 3rd pitch. Randy gets a hit on the 4th pitch. Be patient in the box. Don't need to swing at the first 2 pitches, and good things will happen. Great job there by Brendan Donovan. Great job by Randy Arosarena. And now we have the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And it kind of reminds me, after that emotional loss, against the Houston Astros in game number 1 in that series, and we exploded in game 2 and 3. Hopefully that's what's going to happen here today and tomorrow. First pitch is low and at the knees for Dominic Canzone, cutter missing, 1-0 count. And Dom has been a little overly aggressive lately, swinging at the first and second pitch and grounding out and popping up and popping out. So let's see if he can work the count just like Donnie and Randy did. Let's go, Dom. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and second and no outs. And again, if we can be patient in the box, that'll get the pitch count up on May, and then good things will happen, and we might be able to actually hit some home runs today. Let's go. Velasco in the building. What's good? Ron in the building. What's good? 2-0 pitch, foul behind the plate and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and Brewers. Great to see the offense, getting going early instead of us getting our first hit like in the 7th inning, which has happened in the past also. So 2-1 pitch from May. Hard hit ball, deep left field, fading out of play. A cutter 90 mile an hour plus there by May, the former Dodger and Cardinal. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on. Nope. With runners at first and second with no outs. And let's see if we can knock some people in. Great to see guys on first and second early. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball by Dom. Deep left field in the gap and it drops. Let's go. Let's go. Come home. Let's go, baby. There we go. And he's coming home. Woo! And we get 2 runs to score. Let's go. Dom with a 2-run RBI double. Trident's up. Woo! Hey, after getting shellacked 22-0, we don't even have to wait until, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th inning to get on the board. 3 hits in a row. Let's go. And again, we understand how good this team is, just like the Rays and the Yankees and the Dodgers and, the Phillies. We get it. We understand we're not that great this year, but that doesn't mean that we can't compete. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Little slow dribbler for Julio. Should be a routine play. Throw to first. Toe tap on the bag, but the runner gets to move over. Dominic Canzone makes his way to third, and let's see if we can put up another run on the board. Here we go. And sometimes, you're going to have those horrible record-breaking games, but it's just nice to be able to see, this team climb themselves out of it, just like they did in the Astro game. Emotional loss, a little bit different, where we were down 5-2, tied it up 5-5, took the 7-5 lead, and then Mooney gave up 5 and we lost 10-7. It's a little bit different than getting blasted 22-0, right? But again, the bats are alive early, and that's a good sign. Naylor pops up. And again, Naylor, you got to be able to work the count like everyone else. Stop fucking swinging at the first pitch or the second pitch. Have some awareness. And again, Naylor has been good, within the last month and a half, seeing the baseball. But again, you have to understand where May is at right now. And again, this is a guy that we can take advantage of, obviously. So don't get greedy and swing at the first pitch. Hell, don't even swing at the second pitch. Wait for pitch 3, 4, 5, 6. Good things will happen. I mean, we've already proven that. 2-0 Mariners. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. First pitch in there for a ball. 1-0 count. Oh, and we got a catcher's challenge. Cole Clutch Young in the box. And call is confirmed at ball. They lose a challenge already. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Let him know, Velasco. All it takes is just a second of a time to hit that like button, and then that'll get us closer to that 100 number. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And I like Cole being patient in the box. And now we have 2 balls and no strikes with a runner at third, Dominic Canzone, with 2 outs. Let's see if Cole Young can get an RBI here to make it 3-0 or 4-0 if he's able to hit a homer. 2-0 pitch, pop behind the plate to the Miller Lite sign. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. Paisley's birthday was great. We got some good support. Hit over 100, on the dono train for her. So, went on plenty of walks. She got plenty of toys and treats at Petco. And, it's been a good few days for me and Paisley. 2-1 pitch, pop behind the plate again to the Miller Lite sign. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third, Dominic Canzone, with 2 outs. And we were able to get back-to-back-to-back hits. And again, if Taylor Ward was leading off, probably wouldn't have happened. So again, great job there by Donnie, Randy, and Dom to get the party started. 2-2 pitch, Cole Young, another foul ball towards this time first base and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at third, Dominic Canzone, with 2 outs. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Joe in the building. What's good? Ryan in the building. What's good? And again, you got to have faith. We know our team isn't, very good this season, but that doesn't mean that we can't rally as a ball club. And remember, the American League is bad. The American League West is the worst division in baseball. So again, it's not like we have to try to catch up, to everyone else in the league. All we got to do is try to get first place in the AL West and overtake the Rangers and the Astros, or get second place, in the division and have a record good enough to make a wild card. I mean, it's as simple as that. 3-2 pitch, high and away, and Cole Clutch Young showing the patience in the box, and everyone's doing their best impersonation of J.P. Crawford, and I love it. And now we got runners at first and third for big dumper Cal Raleigh. Now, obviously, if Cal homers here or gets an RBI, we could really give us a nice cushion after getting shellacked yesterday. Runners now at first and third with 2 outs. Big dumper Cal Raleigh in the box, and Taylor Ward is DHing today on deck. I think I would rather have Victor Robles DHing, but, obviously I'd rather actually have him in right field. But, again, Taylor has been able to get roughly about a hit in every game he's played. Not necessarily really more than that. But, again, if the hit turns into an RBI, then it'll be worth it. All right, let's go, big dumper. Great start for the Mariners so far. Great first inning. Not a nice first inning, a great first inning. I mean, let's be real. We would have been happy even with just a hit or two in the first inning, let alone a run or two. Again, remember what happened yesterday. It's a fantastic first inning so far. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. And again, awareness, understanding that May can't hit the strike zone. Understanding, don't be like Naylor and bail him out and swing at the first pitch and pop out or ground out. You have to have, that baseball IQ. And it looks like everyone so far, besides maybe Julio and Naylor, has figured that out. 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball there by Cal, laser towards first and out of play. There's a time and a place to be aggressive and try to be able to get that, big hit on the first pitch. But remember, pitchers don't go right down the middle to get ahead of the count really anymore. They used to do that in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, but within the last 5 or 10 years, you usually see guys try to throw off the plate to get you to try to, swing at garbage, and then a good pitch, maybe on pitch 2, that hopefully that you foul out of play, and then you get into an 0-2 count as that one hits the dugout, thankfully, and back into play. Garbage pitch on pitch 1, really good pitch on number 2, and then hopefully you foul that out of play, and then all of a sudden you're in an 0-2 count, a pitcher's count, and then realistically, if you're in an 0-2 count in baseball, what happens? Most likely you strike out looking, you strike out swinging, or you pop up, or you ground out. I mean, it's pretty difficult to draw a walk in an 0-2 count, even though it's not impossible. And it is possible to be able to get the count from 0-2 to 3-2 and get a good pitch to get a single, double, triple, RBI, or home run, but we don't really have the most patient hitters game in and game out. 2-2 pitch, and Cal with a little dribbler towards first base and out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and third with 2 outs. 2-0 Seattle. Yeah, and again, Cal could still potentially get close to 20 home runs in a horrible year, and he's usually a 20 to 35 home run guy, besides last year's 60. So, but he probably would have to multi-homer at least in one game to get to 20, it feels like. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Good take here by Cal Raleigh, and again, I like the patient at-bats. So far, Naylor and Julio were a little overly aggressive. They didn't get the memo, but everyone else is locked in. It's pitch 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait for that really good pitch. Don't bail the pitcher out. 3-2 pitch and another walk. Let's go. Bases loaded. I love it. Good patience there by the big dumper. And the Brewers are going to challenge and lose all of their challenges here in the first inning, just like when Randy challenged twice. And there we go. Bye-bye challenges, Brewers, and that's going to play into our favor later in the game. 2 challenges, both lost. We've seen Randy do that in the past where we had 2 challenges lost by Randy early in a game, and it didn't really do us justice later on. And so now we don't have to worry about some of those close calls. The Brewers are out of challenges already. I love it. Bases loaded now for Taylor Ward, and this is a good opportunity for Taylor to get an RBI. First pitch to Taylor Ward, takes a strike looking with the cutter, 0-1 count. And obviously not only because he's a right-handed bat, but we picked him up because he's patient like J.P. Crawford. Let's see how patient he really is with bases loaded and 2 outs. Try dance up. Let's go M's. 0-1 pitch from May. Pitch is low and in the zone. Takes another pitch. Sinker. No balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. Top of the first inning, 2-0 Mariners. Great start here for Seattle, but it would be great if we could add on one more at the very least. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. Sinker, 96 miles an hour missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes from May to Ward. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-2 pitch. Low play. Good take there by Taylor Ward. A lot of our hitters, in that type of situation, taking the first 2 pitches would have already struck out by now. So a good job here by Taylor. And let's see if he can find that perfect pitch to swing at to get a single, double, triple, or home run. 2-2 pitch. And that's fouled back behind the plate. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. Two pitch, and Ward with a little blooper, and it drops. Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Let's go! Yes! 2-run score, Taylor Ward. Woo! Let's go! 4-0 M's. Let's go! Hey, they might have clowned us yesterday, but they can't clown us today. Let's go. How many teams, after getting blasted 22-0, would be able to put up 4 runs in the first inning? I highly doubt very many. And it shows you, sometimes we're going to get blasted, but we have a lot of talent on this team. Let's go. 4-0 M's. I would have been happy with just an RBI single scoring 1, but we were able to get that second runner to come home, and now we're already going to have a mound visit. No challenges left for the Brewers. They've already given up 4 runs, and again, we have been in this situation before. We understand what it's like to have a meltdown. We've seen Bryce Miller have them on a regular basis since July 2nd, right? But it feels good that they might have to take out their pitcher already. And again, just feels very similar to that first game against the Astros, different circumstance, but at the end, it still was an L, right? We were down 5-2, came back 5-5, took the 7-5 lead, and then obviously Mooney gave up the 5 runs, and we emotionally lost, right? 10-7. And we could have just gave up the rest of the series, but we didn't, and we fired back, and we're really good in Game 2 and Game 3 in that series, and we're coming out here guns a-blazing, 4-0 for Brock Rodden in the box. First pitch to Rodden, low and away, 0-1 count. And it shows you, if you're patient in the box, good things will happen. Hopefully Naylor and Julio will take notice because everyone else is being patient, and look at the results. 4-0 Seattle. Oh, 1 pitch. And Rodden with a hard hit ball. Shallow center field, though, and that is finally out, number 3. But what an inning. One of the best first innings of the season. And again, after getting blasted yesterday, coming out with a vengeance, and I like that. They don't have any more challenges, and the best part about it is we got our best pitcher on the staff, on the mound, Logan Gilbert, and that'll also give us, a good chance to be able to hopefully hold this team, to a certain amount of runs and hits here today. Awesome start. Let's go, baby. Canzone double to left, scoring Randy and Donovan. Ward single to right, scoring Dom and Young. 4-0 Seattle. Tridents up, baby. 4 runs, 4 hits, and the Brewers are out of challenges already. Let's go. Tridents up. Next up for the Brewers, leadoff hitter, second baseman Bryce Terang. Batting second, left fielder Jackson Churio. And batting third, right fielder Jake Bowers. Let's go, baby. Everyone getting the party started, and I hope to get some good defense here today by a number of players like Brendan Donovan and Cole Young. Logan Gilbert on the mound. 9-7 record, ERA of 3.28, and started off the year 0-2. So he has really rebounded, and I'm happy that he's on the mound here today. All right, 18 subs to go to 24,600. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Gained a sub already. I appreciate that. 17 subs to go to 24,600. And hopefully we can get a few individuals in the room to help out and get some support from the people in the room that haven't smashed that like button yet. 148 in the room. We should be somewhere in that 30 to 50 range. And let's see where we're at. We're at 30, 70 to go. Rebecca in the building. What's good? Angry in the building. Steph in the building. I see you. Both Rebecca's in the building. Let's go. First pitch into Terang is a ball. 1-0 count. Pitch, getting the corner with a four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Terang. Yeah, he's got a very good chance of getting Rookie of the Year. Ruben Bain, he already looks like he's 30 years old, even though he's a rookie. But he's got, the work ethic, of an elite Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame type of player already, and he hasn't even played a snap in the regular season yet. So again, he's going to be the steal of the draft, and we still need a lot of work, on the defensive side. But again, Bain is going to be a monster, and he's already, blowing past, our starting offensive line on almost every play. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he ends up doing. And if I were to buy a jersey, of any Buck, that would be the one that I would buy this year. 2-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. But again, that's what you want to see. You want to see guys that have, crazy work ethic, that are going to put in the extra time and effort when everyone else is already done with practice. And he's out there for another hour and a half by himself, grinding it out, and again, only the greats will go to those lengths to be, obviously the best they can be. 2-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Slider 89 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Terang. Todd in the building. What's good? Two pitch from Gilbert. Popped up and fading out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Terang. Bottom of the first inning, 4-0 Mariners. And you couldn't have asked for a better start. It's like almost the sports gods, they saw what happened yesterday, and again, our worst starter, who hasn't won a game since July 2nd, got, absolutely blasted, gave up a run, was clean for 3, then gave up another 4 or 5. And then we brought in our worst pitcher. So of course you knew the lead was going to grow. They were going to save all the good pitchers for game 2 and game 3. But I don't think any of us expected it to get that high of a number. And then to have Leo Rivas in there at the end, it was an absolute nightmare. But today, a little bit of a revenge game, and I like what I'm seeing. And obviously, if we ended up putting in Ferrer and Spire and Bizzardo yesterday, we probably would have lost by half of the score, or maybe even a little bit after, when Bryce ended up leaving, maybe they add on a couple more. We still probably lose, 7-8-0 at the very least, but that's a lot better than 22. 2-2 pitch, and that is low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Terang. 3-2 pitch, high and away. And that's a ball there to Bryce Terang for ball number 4. Todd with a tenner. Appreciate you. Todd's our MVP, getting us started. 10 on the Dono train, 90 to go. And remember, we don't need to catch the Rays or the Yankees or, the Guardians or the White Sox. All we got to do is just try to be able to get to a point where we can, get to the Ranger Astro level and then just see where the chips fall. And again, we're going to have a very tough schedule this season in August, but it gets much easier in September next month. So we just got to be able to, kind of tread water and stay afloat, overachieve in a few games, and hopefully get at least one sweep before the month ends. And it should be able to put us in a really good position, to have a very strong September. First pitch is high and away to Jackson Churio, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away on the corner. Nice slider there by Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike. From Gilbert to Churio. 1-1 pitch, four-seam fastball inside, 98 miles an hour. Check swing, does he go? No, he does not. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Churio. Got to get the pitch count down here. Gilbert's pitch count already getting high. Gilbert on the mound, Churio in the box. 2-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. And Jake Bowers on deck. And hopefully I don't see Bowers trying to knock the ball out of Cal Raleigh's midsection again. That should have been something that was looked at. Anybody, coming home, their hands and feet are low, not in the middle of somebody's body. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Churio. Well, that's when they just throw guys in there because they don't want to use anybody else in the bullpen. We've seen Victor Robles against the Tigers. We've seen Leo Rivas. So, again, they have to pick somebody, that's going to do that. And Cal, throw not in time and a stolen base there by Bryce Terang. But we did get the strikeout there on Churio, so at least we have that. That's 1 away. Next up in the 3-hole, right fielder Jake Bowers, and on deck in the 4-hole, catcher William Contreras. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. He celebrated a birthday yesterday. Shout out to my boy Brooks. First pitch fouled off there by Bowers, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball. 97 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Bowers. And again, it feels great that we have a 4-0 lead, but I think every Mariner fan knows, including myself, this doesn't mean that we won the game. We don't know what our bullpen is going to look like, and we don't know what Logan's going to look like as the game progresses. And we got to hope we can continue to put up a few more runs and hopefully get 5 to 10. Because again, this Brewer team is so talented that they don't even need to hit home runs, and they can end up getting 10 to 20 runs on you. So again, there's not very many teams that are built like Milwaukee, but again, a very talented team that's very well managed, and we just got to be able to kind of put our foot on the gas and hopefully do enough to be able to get the victory today. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bowers. But since we ended up using all our bad pieces in the bullpen yesterday, we're saving all our good ones for today and tomorrow. So again, kind of like the Astros series, we lose game 1 in an emotional fashion, and we play great in game 2 and game 3. And I assume that's what's going to happen in this series as well. 2-2 pitch, and Gilbert steps off the mound. Hopefully we don't get any balks called here today. Vogelback there in the dugout for Milwaukee, a former Mariner. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Bowers. And obviously you can tell, Gilbert is being very cautious on throwing right down the middle based on what happened yesterday. So again, it could lead to some walks, but again, at some point, hopefully we'll get some of these guys to chase on some of these pitches out of the zone, and we can get some cheap pop-ups and ground ball outs. Three-two pitch, and Gilbert steps off the mound again. Trying to keep Terang And again, the Brewers are one of the best base running teams in baseball. They can steal bags just like we did last year. Again, very, very efficient on the base paths. 3-2 pitch, line drive up the middle. Oh, and dropped. All right, so we do get the out, but then in the transfer, the ball popped out. Good job by Brock Rodden. Looked like he was trying to get the double play, but at least he ended up catching the baseball, and we get credit for that. And then after he caught the baseball and got the out, then it fell out of the glove. So we'll take that, and that is 2 away. And there's one thing, pitching smart, and there's another thing where, it's not necessarily pitching smart, where you just can't hit the strike zone. And it just so happens that you're pitching, low and away, and you're trying to hit the corners, but you can't. And it feels like today it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit Logan can't hit some of the spots, but then also some I feel are on purpose, based on where Cal is trying to guide him to throw the baseball. And again, so far so good, with him, hitting some of the spots low and away and inside, and then also a few pitches that he's, not being able to hit those particular spots, but again, not really getting a lot of these batters yet to chase, but that doesn't mean that they won't as the game progresses. Bottom of the first inning, 4-0 Mariners, and let's see if we can keep this runner stranded to keep our 4-0 lead. First pitch popped up, and that's in shallow right. Taylor Ward is there. And there we go. Get some debate on a pitch, and that is out number 3. Great job. Even though the pitch count was a little higher than we would like, but we end up giving up none, and that's exactly what we want. Because again, how many times have we watched a Mariner game where we score a run or 2 or 3 or 4, and then immediately the other team responds with 1, 2, 3, or 4 of their own? It seems like it happens 90% of the time, but not today. Awesome. All right, let's go to the top of the second inning, and let's see if we can add on another run on the board. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. And it's a good sign when you're going into the top of the second inning and you're already back at the top of the order instead of having to wait until the third or the fourth inning to get to the second time, through the batting order. Next up for the Mariners, we're back at the top of the order again, believe it or not. Third baseman, 1 for 1 with a run, Brandon Donovan. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a run with 2 RBIs, Dominic Canzone. And it's one of the first times in the last few weeks that we've actually got back-to-back hits to start out a game. Great job. Tried ends up. Let's go M's. 4-0 Seattle. 17 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 10 on the Dono train. 90 to go. And we should be over 50 likes at this point with the amount of people that we have in the room. Hopefully a little bit more. We're at 155. So let's see where we're at. And we're at 42. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're at 42. 58 to go. Shout out to our female audience, our regulars, our subs, our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. And shout out to Todd, our MVP, getting the Dono train started early and often. Appreciate you, Todd. Toby in the building. What's good? First pitch into Donnie with the sweeper. Inside, 1-0 count. Yeah, I think 7 to 10 runs is kind of what you want to shoot for in this game. I mean, considering we already have 4. 1-0 pitch. But obviously if we get more than 10 runs, that's not going to hurt my feelings either. But we want to make sure that we leave some of the bats available to continue to stay hot tomorrow, And sometimes we can put up 7 runs plus in each game, 2 games or 3 games in a row. But sometimes we'll do really good in one game, and then the offense kind of sputters in that last game. So hopefully that's not the case. Pitch is inside, and we got a nice count here. 3 balls and no strikes to Brandon Donovan. Another patient at bat. Everyone's been patient besides Julio and Naylor so far. 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. May on the mound. Brandon Donovan in the box with a 3-1 count. And again, May had some success, with the Cardinals and the Dodgers, but has been a little injury prone and has definitely not been the same pitcher as he was when he was in his prime in Los Angeles. 3-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards first base and out of play with a cutter, 93 miles an hour by May. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from May to Donovan. And it definitely feels like a switch has been flipped, getting Donnie back at first leadoff hitter, as far as offense and defense is concerned. The perfect person, to be able to lead this team. 3-2 pitch. And a little dribbler up the middle. And it skates through for another hit. Let's go. 2 Brewers try to get it, but they can't. And great job. And it shows you how important a good leadoff hitter is. Imagine if we had Brandon Donovan all year. We would be in first place in the AL West, even if we played just like we've played up to this point. Again, he makes such a different type of impact on this team, especially when he's hitting and also when he is defending. No disrespect to Randy or Julio or JP Crawford or Cole Young, but again, the reason that you ended up getting him in the offseason is to be a leadoff hitter and to try to be the, the closest thing, to Ichiro Suzuki that we haven't had in quite some time. Great job by Brandon Donovan. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch is high and inside with a cutter, 1-0 count. But again, we're definitely noticing a spike in the offense with Donnie. It's rubbing off on guys like Brock Rodden and Victor Robles, as well as Taylor Ward. And it's also rubbing off on guys like Randy and Dom and a few of the others. So, again, sometimes you need to be able to have that balance, not only 1 through 3, 7 through 9, but also in the middle of the order that has struggled throughout the season. Pitch fouled off there by Randy. 1-1 pitch from May, high and inside, almost hitting Randy in the shoulder with the sweeper, 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Two-one pitch popped up behind the plate and out of play to the PNC Bank sign. And again, bandwagon fans of the Mariners, already assumed that we were going to get swept and we were just going to lose every game and roll over, But again, for us diehards, you always have to have that blind faith that, even no matter how bad it could have gotten yesterday, that today is a new day. And that's a great thing about baseball and as well as sports, in football and baseball and basketball and hockey. As long as it's not the last game of the regular season, there's another game to be played, another game to be able to prove yourself and to be able to play better than you did the night before. 2-2 pitch from May to Arozarena, and it hits him. Hopefully Randy's okay. And Randy's a little frustrated there. Hopefully he's all right. Randy obviously is getting plunked more than any other player. He obviously has taken the role over Ty France, who's having a phenomenal breakthrough and breakout year for the Padres. And the trainers and Dan Wilson are taking a look at Randy. And as we see the replay, it looks like it gets him kind of into the stomach, hand area. And I hope he's okay there. Randy's a pretty tough guy, a great hitter. Obviously lacks a little bit of hustle running to first and lacks a little bit of hustle on ground balls and left. But again, has been an all-star for the last few years. And he is one of the biggest free agents with Skubal that will be available next season. Next up is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And we got runners at first and second with no outs. Can we get bases loaded again? And if that ends up happening and we score a few more, May will end up exiting in the second inning. First pitch to Dom, hard hit ball, fouled out of play, 0-1 count. Work the counts here. Let's see if we can get everyone 1 through 9 to pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good things happen when you're patient. Cole Young leading the team with RBIs with 56, Dom with 54, Randy with 53. 0-1 pitch, and another hard hit ball towards first base, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Top of the second inning, 4-0 Mariners. O2 pitch from May. And Dom with a little blooper in his shallow left, and it drops. Let's go. Let's go. Bases loaded again, baby. And for the love of God, Julio, please be patient. We got bases loaded. You don't even need to swing at the first 2 pitches. But again, with bases loaded and Julio being Julio, let's just see if Julio can find pitch 3, 4, 5, 6. And if he's able to, it could turn into a single, double, triple home run and potentially a grand salami. Get the mustard and rye bread. We will see. Let's see if Julio will be patient here. Bases loaded with no outs. First pitch ends up taking the strike with a sweeper. 0-1 count. 757 with a $5 dono. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. 0-1 pitch, high and away. Good take there by Julio. I like the patience. 1 ball and 1 strike after that 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, goes high and away. Shout out to 757. Appreciate you. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded and no outs. 1-1 pitch to Julio. Popped up and fading out of play. Good souvenir for those fans out there. About 15 rows back. 1 ball and 2 strikes with bases loaded and no outs. Tried it up. Let's go M's. Appreciate you, 757. We're at 15 on the dono train. 85 to go. 1-2 pitch to Julio. Hard hit ball. Deep center field. Back to the warning track. Caught. Runner tags up from third. Run, run, run. There we go. And a good hit ball. Julio Rodriguez. Sack fly. 5-0 M's. Woo! Look at that. Patience in the box. It pays off. There we go. That's much better than Julio throwing the ball into the crowd with 2 outs yesterday. Good job, Julio. Way to make up for that. Next up is Josh Naylor. Be patient, Naylor. And Naylor, first pitch. Line drive. Down the line, and it's fair. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Yes, let's go. 7-0 M's. And again, I want Naylor to be patient, but again, he has no patience apparently, but it works. We get a line drive towards first base, and it scores 2 more. 7-0 M's. We're scoring so many runs, ESPN can't even keep up. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. And again, think about how many teams could have got blasted like we did yesterday that would be able to do this. I don't think there's that many, and again, it shows how resilient we are, as a ball club. The bandwagon fans are going to jump on and jump off whenever they want, only when the team is looking good like last year, but again, for us diehards, you got to go through the misery and the pain if you want to get to the joy. And again, there might be a lot more misery and pain on the average year, but there is going to be some joy, and you just got to be able to stick around and be loyal to see it and watch it and feel it. Great job by the M. 7-0 Seattle. 2-0 pitch. High and inside, hits the corner with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from May to Young. And remember, the Brewers lost all their challenges already. And honestly, I'm not super shocked, that we're doing this today. I knew that with Gilbert on the mound, the vibes were going to be good, even though, things happened the way they did yesterday. Little blooper towards first, could be a double play. And they just take the fielder's choice. Out is Naylor, Young safe at first. But I was thinking that there would be a good chance to kind of do what we did with the Astros series, understanding that the Brewers are much better than Houston, but just kind of that, aspect of, okay, let's put this, bad loss behind us. And we got too much talent. We already know, that every game is super important, the rest of the way. And again, we're not just rolling over and giving up. And this is a great sign, from the Seattle Mariners. Whether we make the playoffs or not, at least we're grinding it out. Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch popped up and out of play. 0-1 count. got to be mentally tough, to be a fan of this team, like I've mentioned all year. And it's not like we've proven, that we can make the playoffs year in and year out yet, but that doesn't mean that, we won't get there. We had 20 years of no playoffs in a row, right? We just started getting good in 2022. So, for a lot of the bandwagon and fair weather fans, they can't handle, a lot of these, bad losses that we take. But for a lot of diehard fans that have been following since the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even in the early 2000s in the Ichiro era, right? We understand, like what this team is about, that it's going to take time, to build a championship contender. And we overachieved last year. I don't think anyone anticipated us going as far as we did last year. We were pleasantly surprised, but again, one day, one game at a time. Pitches low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. One-two pitch by May. Cal pops it behind the plate to the PNC Bank sign. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 7-0 M's. And even though, Logan Gilbert, his pitch count was starting to kind of get up there, as long as it's not as bad as Mays. And again, he didn't give up any runs. And, you got to feel a little bit more confident on the mound, obviously with a monster lead. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards first. And out of play. Let's go, baby. I mean, it's not over until it's over, and if we had a regular American League season, yeah, we probably would be screwed. But, we're playing bad, but also the American League is historically bad this year. So we actually, still have a chance, even though August will be tough. It gets much easier in September, and we should be able to get some good winning streaks going in September, you would think, and maybe even in August if we can, get rolling. Throw to first. And Young is safe. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal. And that is finally the end of the inning, but not after the Mariners put up a monster 4 runs in the first inning, 3 runs in the second inning, and we got a nice 7-0 lead. Let's go. And if anybody needed something like this, it's our fan base, considering how bad things got yesterday. So awesome. It's just like in life, when you end up having a bad day, as long as you wake up the next day, there's always a chance to have a great day, and again, sometimes you're going to, stack up bad days in a row, depression and anxiety are real, right? I've had it. I know some of you guys have had it before, but you got to have that positive, mindset and that positive outlook, and sometimes it's, 10% of what happens to you in life, 90% on how you react. And, based on how you react, things could end up getting progressively worse, or you can end up having a level head and trying to see the best of things. And then sometimes things will get a little bit better sooner than expected. So you just got to keep positive. And so far, so good for the Mariners. 7-0 Seattle. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Brewers. Next up for the Brewers in the 5-hole, DHing Christian Yelich. Batting in the 6-hole, batting second, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. And batting third in the 7-hole, center fielder Luis Lara. And they haven't even gone through their batting order once yet, so things are going quite well here early on. 17 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 15 on the Dono train, 85 to go. Gained another sub during the commercial break. Appreciate you. 16 subs to go to 24,600. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be halfway at this point. And hopefully we're there with 163 in the room. Let's see where we're at. And we're at 65. There we go. 35 to go. First pitch in there to Yelich. Takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. Takes another strike there from Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Yelich. Cutter 94 miles an hour. 0-2 pitch, low and away with a splitter, 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second, 7-0 M's. All right, they got a pitcher there in the bullpen warming up. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there to Yelich. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Yelich. And maybe this is, some good sports karma, because I think, when you end up getting beat badly and then you end up going into, a stream that, isn't your team stream, and then you have to, say certain comments and be rude and whatnot. And I feel like that's such loser behavior, like going into someone else's stream when it's not even your favorite team. And again, if you end up being extra, the sports gods see it, and sometimes you'll end up getting punished, in that next game or the next few games. And, it's one thing, as far as a rivalry is concerned, but, you definitely see that type of behavior more than you'd like to see. First pitch into Andrew Vaughn is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away with the slider. 87 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Vaughn. One pitch in there for a strike. And I like the game plan with Logan and Cal here today. They are very strategic and methodical based on where they want to pitch and what type of pitch they want to be able to go at some of these Brewer hitters. And yeah, he's been able to get into quite a few 3-2 counts, which is not ideal, but the bottom line, he hasn't given up a run yet, so it is working. 1-2 pitched from Gilbert to Andrew Vaughn. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Matt in the building. What's good? Next up in the 7-hole, center fielder Luis Lara. On deck is Joey Ortiz. First pitch from Gilbert to Lara, takes the strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1 ball, 1 strike from Gilbert to Lara. One pitch and lined out to center. Julio Rodriguez is there, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez there in the no-fly zone, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 8-hole, playing third base today, Joey Ortiz. First pitch is high and inside with a four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Back, gone. And Ortiz ends up teeing off on Logan Gilbert there in deep left field. And thankfully we have a 7 on the board right now. But again, when you pitch right down the middle, this Brewer team can make you understand why you don't want to go down the middle. And a big home run there by Ortiz. And just like that, 7-2 Seattle. Unfortunate home run given up by Gilbert, but hopefully that's the only runs that he gives up in this game. Easier said than done when you're going against a team that can throw up 5 to 20 runs on any given day. But we just have to hope. Next up is Cooper Pratt. First pitch is fouled off and out of play. 0-1 count. Cooper Pratt in the box. Logan Gilbert on the mound. And a little dribbler towards third. Brandon Donovan is there. Nice throw to Naylor, and that is out number 3. And I don't think people realize how good Donnie is at third base, defensively. As far as we know, the offense is going to be there, when he's healthy. But the defense, he saved probably 3 or 4 singles from happening yesterday. And again, it's just nice to be able to have him there rather than JP or Colt or Weston Wilson or anybody that they kind of plugged into that spot. Great to be able to see Donnie back. Good defense there by the M's. Unfortunate that Gilbert gave up the home run, but again, you knew at some point that they were going to get on the board. Now let's see if we can make up for that 2-run blast that Ortiz just got, and let's see if we can get 2 more runs of our own here in the 3rd inning. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1 with 2 RBIs, the former Oriole and Angel, Taylor Ward. Welcome back to the lineup. Batting second, 0-for-1 in the 9-hole, shortstop Brock Rodden. And batting third, 2-for-2 with 2 runs, Brandon Donovan. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're at 15 on the Dono train, 85 to go. 16 subs to go to 24,600. Less than 500 to go to 25,000. 6.2 to 6.3 million views. Next goal will be 7 million views, then 8, 9, and 10 million. And let's see where we're at on the likes as we're approaching in the 70 to 80 range. Where are we at now? We got 171 in the room. And we're at 69, 31 to go. Jack in the building. What's good? First pitch from Anderson to Ward as we get a new pitcher in. Big Red is done, and now Anderson is in now for the Brewers. 1-0 pitch, popped up, and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Anderson to Ward. One pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Anderson to Taylor Ward. That last pitch looked more like a ball, but might have been able to hit that corner there. SGC, SCG. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And again, imagine having to watch the game, and I talked about with my friends, after the game was over, but I was like, they said, imagine watching it. And then, if you're a fan, you have the option to walk away or, turn it off because you don't want to watch anymore. But for me, this is my full-time job. I got to call the game. I can't go anywhere. And again, thank you to show some love. SCG with his first dono to the channel and making it well worthwhile. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Big $100 dono. First from SCG and hopefully not the last. Appreciate you, and again, I had some friends, that watched the whole game. I had some other friends that couldn't bear to watch the whole game. And I understand, obviously it was very rough, especially once it got over 10-0, but again, that's a part of being a fan and obviously doing this as a full-time job. Sometimes you got to go through the good, bad, and the ugly. And yesterday was the ugliest of the ugly that we've ever seen on this channel. And thank you so much. And then again, sometimes when you go, from the bad of the bad, and then you get to the good of the good. And thank you so much. Big dono. SCG coming up big. $100 dono. Thank you so much. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Brock Rodden. And that is 2 away. We're at 115 on the dono train, 85 to go to our next goal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to 757 and SCG. I appreciate the three of you guys. Big MVPs tonight. Next up is Brandon Donovan. First pitch, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. And it's, great to be able to, be recognized and supported. Especially when things, aren't necessarily going our way. And let's be honest, Mariner fans and baseball fans that watch this channel on a regular, we haven't really had a whole lot of joyful moments this season. Last year, it felt like every day we were on cloud 9. And then this year, it just feels like a lot of misery, compared. It's like almost the complete opposite of last year. But again, I still enjoy coming here every day to try to be as positive as possible. And again, you work hard and you end up having a great fan base. And then you have amazing things happen like what just happened moments ago. Thank you so much. 0-2 pitch and low and away with the sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning. 7-2 Seattle. 1-2 pitch. And Donnie pops that one into left field and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Anderson to Brandon Donovan. And hopefully that'll, set the tone and show others, and then as some people are always waiting on someone else to kind of get the party, started and kind of get the dono train going. But, everyone has an opportunity to show love in a different kind of way, whether it's, commenting and liking the stream and subbing to the channel and sharing, the streams or doing the ultimate compliment of, donating to somebody's dream. And I appreciate that very, very much. Two pitch popped up and out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Anderson to Brandon Donovan. Okay, because I was going to say maybe screen name has changed, and that sometimes happens too. Like originally, before YouTube made their changes, we would have like a screen name, and then within the last, I don't know, maybe year, then it kind of defaulted to like another screen name and whatnot. So thank you so much. Sounds like it's not the first, and hopefully it won't be the last. Appreciate you. What was your screen name in the past? I'm usually pretty good with names, on people who donate to the channel. I usually have a pretty good memory about that. 3-2 pitch. And that's popped up and out of play. Really long at bat here for Brandon Donovan. Next pitch is going to be pitch number 10. Okay. 3-2 pitch. And a nice walk on pitch number 10. And Brandon Donovan making his way to first base. Let's go. Yeah, it's been a lot tougher this year, and also, not only watching the games, but also the support. Because obviously when the Mariners are doing great, more people are going to donate. More people are going to sub, more people are going to watch, right? So obviously when the Mariners are not doing as good, then obviously, no matter what I say or do, sometimes things are going to be a little bit less. But again, I just have to, just be as positive as possible and, just know that, we have great people supporting the channel, regardless when the Mariners are doing good or not, that people are going to come through. And, more times than not, that's been the case this season, even though we haven't been as good as last year. There's no doubt about that. And Randy loses the challenge there. 0-1 pitch, popped behind the plate and out of play. Mariners have one challenge left. No balls and 2 strikes from Anderson to Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Everyone's name changed, for whatever reason when YouTube did that. So, and I think you can go to your YouTube settings and edit your name and you can change it, but you'd have to go to your settings to do that. So, and down goes Randy, and that is out number 3. But I think it's pretty much everyone's name, from what it was. I think everyone's changed at some point, when they did some kind of update through YouTube. So, all right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning with a 7-2 Mariner lead. And one thing about me, no matter how good or bad the Mariners, do, I'm always going to be here. And again, no matter how good the NFL teams, do, or NHL or NBA, or if we're doing WWE or AEW or NASCAR or boxing or UFC, we're just going to be able to continue to grind it out. And, we're one of those special channels that we can pretty much do anything on any sport or wrestling. And a lot of channels out there are limited where they only feel comfortable, doing maybe one sport or their team. And again, sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone, to be able to become great at something. And if you're never willing to step out of your comfort zone, you're missing out on another, set of audience members, maybe that you'll never reach. And so I learned that very early on. And again, this is my 14th year streaming, 10th on YouTube. And again, if I never took those steps and being uncomfortable years ago, then I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing here today. So I appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to our female audience, our subs, our mods, all our regulars, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Now in the bottom of the 3rd inning, next up, 0-for-0 with a base on ball, Bryce Terang. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K. And the 2-hole left fielder, Jackson Churio. And batting third, 0-for-1 in the 3-hole, playing right field today, Jake Bowers. And we're at 115 on the Dono train. 85 to go. And SCG says, let me do it again. Thank you so much. Yeah, you got it correct. Thank you so much. And again, we haven't had support like this in a minute. We were getting like donos like these last year, but they're a little bit more rare this season. And thank you so much. First for me, second for Paisley. Thank you so much. And you did spell it correctly. And again, thank you. We did end up getting our biggest donation on the channel, $1,500 from Odin's son, breaking our previous record of $1,300 on a solo donation. And SCG with $150 by himself, showing everyone what it's like to support someone in their dreams, especially if they have a pup and a dog daughter they need to take care of. Salute. Thank you so much for your generosity, and hopefully others, on the channel can see this as well. And no matter if it ends up being $1, to $50 to $100 or anything in between, everything is appreciated. This is my full-time job. I don't have anything else, income-wise coming in. So, and obviously if I'm going to be grinding every day, it has to be, supported by some to keep the dream alive. So thank you so much. Takes a strike, looking right down the middle with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert to Bryce Terang. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Terang. Appreciate you. SCG coming up big. And a soft fly ball into Randy Arosarena's glove, who will be a free agent after this season. Biggest name besides Scooball. He'll be right there at the very top. A lot of teams will be coveting a guy like Randy Arozarena, even with sometimes the lack of hustle at running the bags and running to first, as well as issues with ground balls. But I imagine that Yankees, Dodgers, and a lot of other teams would be very interested in a guy like Randy if they can if the price is right. Next up is Jackson Chourio. First pitch in there to Chourio, takes a strike looking with a four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Yeah, and again, there was a lot of, people, friends and, co-workers and family that probably doubted me, that didn't think that I could do, something like this, build something from the ground up, but one thing, that I've learned is, you have to believe in yourself no matter what anyone else says or thinks, and again, as long as you're resilient and you have talent and you're willing to have the patience and the grind and the work ethic, as that ball ends up skating through and a throw by Rodden is not in time and Chourio is safe. But as long as you believe in yourself and you have a great work ethic, and you're able to be consistent and you're able to keep grinding it out, eventually good things will happen. And again, a lot of people are afraid to chase their dreams due to failure. And I get that, and again, you got to fail before you succeed. It's just that, can you end up accepting some of the early failures and not give up on yourself or your dream? And that's obviously easier said than done. A lot of people are afraid, and I totally understand that. And also, a lot of people have had depression and anxiety, including myself, where it was crippling, and if I didn't get my pup, who knows if I'm still here or not, so again, things can get really bad, in your life. But if you're willing to make the changes, with exercise and diet and the people that you hang around, and if you're able to really look in the mirror and say, I need to change my lifestyle, I need to change, my life. And if you're willing, ready and willing to make those changes, good things can definitely happen. And I'm obviously living proof of that as well. 1-1 pitch from Gilbert to Bowers. Pitches down the corner in there for a strike. Nice change up there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the third, 7-2 Mariners. Yeah, Randy could be a DH for every team in baseball. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think he's willing to DH. I think he wants to be a left fielder. Big swing and a miss, and that is 2 away. Now, if Randy was willing to be a DH, then obviously, he could end up being one of the best DHs like Edgar Martinez was for us. But again, I think with Randy's ability for pop-ups and just wanting to be an everyday player and be out there, I don't really see him ever DHing only unless Randy gets to the end of his career, and then maybe he'd be willing then. But if he's still kind of in his prime, I assume that he's going to be a left fielder primarily, and teams that want him are going to have to pay him as a left fielder, not as a DH. First pitch is low and away to Contreras, 1-0 count. Pitch popped up and out of play. Yeah, and also I think, it's one of those things, it's super difficult to break through, as a streamer, whether you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, there's millions of people, that are out there. So you got to be able to kind of separate yourself out of millions of people. So there's like millions of channels and millions of people that are watching all these different channels. So, you definitely, and this didn't happen overnight. Obviously I've had to slowly, figure things out, on my own. Like, I didn't know how to make a thumbnail. I didn't know, how to do all the things that you need to do to be successful. But again, 14 years, in this dream, 10 on YouTube. And, I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. So, and again, I really do appreciate all the amazing people that are a part of this channel to make, my dreams come true, to be able to hold it down, not only for sport fans, but also to be able to take care of my dog daughter, Paisley. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Contreras, because those are the 2 most important things in my life. Paisley, number 1, and obviously you guys in this channel is number 2. It's more really 1A, 1B, if I'm being honest. But, Paisley obviously has changed my life so much, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for her and my family as well. 2-2 pitch, and a little dribbler towards third base and out of play. And obviously I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, the subs and the mods and, all the different people that have contributed to the success of this channel. Because, no matter how talented you are, if you don't have people supporting you, you never are going to be able to get to, those levels of accomplishing your dreams. And that's 100% true. 2-2 pitch. Slow dribbler towards third and out of play. And I do appreciate every single one of you, the female audience, our mods, our regulars, our new subs, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. It's a humbling to be global, not just be in the United States. And I really do appreciate everyone. Whether you're watching, only one stream or you're here on the regular, it really does mean everything. And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Another guy that I used to work with in phone sales. Me and him always knew that we had plans to do something bigger than sales. Little slow dribbler up the middle, throw to first, and that is out number 3. And I told him, out of the 30 different people in our friend group, that would hang out and party and drink and do all that. I always kind of knew that me and him probably had the best chances to be able to do something above and beyond than just, 9 to 5 or, regular jobs or do phone sales. And as anyone that's ever worked in sales, you can burn out, and it's kind of sad because I've actually lost a lot of people in the sales game where people are no longer here anymore, based off addiction or other things that happen to them, with the stresses that come in sales, and some jobs like, you don't hit your quota in a week, you're fired. And again, a lot of these jobs can be very cutthroat. Others, you may have a couple weeks or a month to be able to hit your numbers and whatnot, depending on what company you work for. But, we have a lot of really talented people in Oregon and Washington that work in the telemarketing and sales and customer service business. And I don't think people realize that. Sometimes, when you call into customer service, you're going to get India or Asia and they're going to outsource. But a lot of times you're going to get people from the Pacific Northwest. And the reason is people in the Pacific Northwest can chameleon their voice to anybody, whether you're talking to someone in the Midwest or someone in New York or Boston or somewhere in the South. And big companies realize that. And that's why they give a lot of the contracts to companies in Oregon and Washington, because they can kind of chameleon, with the people that they're talking to. And that's why you have a lot of success in that, kind of field here in Oregon and Washington. Top of the 4th inning, 7-2 Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, let's see who is up next. Next up for Seattle, in the 3-hole, playing right field, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. 2 for 2 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs, getting the party started. Batting second, in the 4-hole, center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. I appreciate that. Yeah. And again, to be able to be where I'm at right now, and again, it's like you can't compare yourself to any other YouTuber or streamer. I know a lot of people, end up doing that, and, it takes you down a negative path. You have to just understand everyone's got a lane. Everyone is great at something. You got to figure out what it is and then go after it. And then you can't compare yourself to anybody else. Everyone is on a different path and they're going to get there at a different rate, and as long as you don't quit, eventually you'll be able to, make things happen. 2-0 pitch, high and inside, 3 balls and no strikes from Hall to Canzone. Another pitcher in here for the Brewers. 3-0 pitch, and that turns into a 4-pitch walk, and Canzone to first. Next up here is Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, and again, I think it also shows fans that Cal should have gotten more votes, because again, catchers, it's hard to hit home runs. Normally you're getting catchers that hit 10 to 20, and then if a catcher is having an all-star year, they're going to hit 20 to 35. typically, right? So for some catcher to hit 60, he should have won the award, or it should have been co-MVP with Judge, especially as you see, the drop off this year with the injuries and whatnot. I think that, it's the first time that Cal has struggled, but if you look at every other year, he normally is hitting 20 to 35 home runs. So it really does show the consistency of Cal Raleigh. And even as bad as he's been this year, he still has a chance to get to 20 home runs, which is a pretty, good season, for a catcher home run wise. The big thing is the batting average is much lower. You want to be hitting, close to 250 and higher, not under 200. And that's where Cal has been, in that 160 range pretty much all season, which is unacceptable. Pitch fouled off there by Julio and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hall to Julio Rodriguez. But I appreciate the compliments, and understanding, where, things are. It definitely is, very difficult, but again, you have to be able to believe in yourself, and you have to be able to have people support, and you have to just have that insane work ethic. And also, let's be honest, you have to have talent, because you could have work ethic and you could have, certain people supporting you, but if you don't have certain talents, you're never going to be able to make your dream come true. We can't forget about that. There has to be a certain level of talent, for certain people to achieve their dreams. You just can't be talentless and just have this amazing work ethic and think that, things are going to happen. So that's obviously true as well. As Julio ends up getting to first base, and fielder's choice, Julio is safe, and that is 1 away. But it's a very certain type of combination of things that you have to make things happen. Next up is Josh Naylor, a guy that definitely has talent, but is a little impatient in the box, and he was able to get that big RBI swinging on the first pitch. But again, he's been seeing the baseball really well after being one of the worst hitters in baseball with Cal and Julio at the beginning of the year, and he's 1 for 2. Let's see if Naylor can get another hit, but let's see if he can be patient in the box. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. I 100% agree, SCG. Throw to first, and Julio is safe. Yeah, and I also don't even think my family really understands, what I'm doing. Obviously, they're kind of old school and whatnot, but I mean, I was doing streaming before it was cool to be a streamer, since I've been doing it for such a long time and whatnot. And obviously when COVID hit, a lot more people, started to invest in sports cards, and obviously started to want to work remote because of COVID and, stream and whatnot. And it was kind of like the cool thing to do, but again, if you don't have, the work ethic, it's just going to be one of those things. It's like a phase, and it just kind of fizzles out. So 1-1 pitch, takes another strike, looking high and away. Good patient at bat here for Naylor. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hall to Naylor. Golf in the building. What's good? 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Naylor. Let's go, Nails. Top of the 4th inning, 7-2 Mariners. Great bounce back game after what happened yesterday. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Skims the dirt. Sweeper getting away from Hall just as he threw that pitch. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Hall to Naylor. Yeah, I think every Mariner fan, whether you're a fanatic, or you're a fair weather or bandwagon or an occasional watcher or something in between, definitely feels good to see us respond like we did here today. 3-2 pitch, and Naylor pops up into center, and that is 2 away. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. On deck is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. But it kind of reminds me of the Astros game 1 where we emotionally lost. And then obviously a different loss compared to what we had happen yesterday. But again, an L is an L. But then we responded in game 2 and 3 versus the Astros. And I believe that we're going to respond not only today, but I think we're going to respond tomorrow as well. So but shout out to Todd for getting the Dono train started. And then 757. And then SCG with 100 for me and a 50 for Paisley. I appreciate it very, very much. More than you know, more than words can say. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Hall to Young. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-0 pitch, low and away. Hall having a little bit of a mini meltdown here, having a hard time hitting the plate, and I like seeing Cole be patient here. 3 balls and no strikes to Cole Clutch Young. And obviously we got goals here on the channel to get to 25,000 and then 50,000, 75,000, and then eventually 100,000 subs is my long-term goal. And then, 6.2 to 6.3 million views to 7 million views to 8 to 9 to 10 million views. And then eventually my goal is to get to 20 to 25 million views, obviously long-term down the road. So 3.1. Okay. 3-1 pitch popped up. And what a catch in left. And Churio actually slams into the wall, but makes the catch, and that is out number 3. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. I got to go check up on Paisley, see if she's doing okay. Next up for the Brewers in the 5-hole, DHing 0-for-0 with a run and a base on ball, Christian Yelich. Batting second 0-for-1 with a K in the 6-hole, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. And batting third in the 7-hole, center fielder 0-for-1, Luis Lara. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. All right, I'm going to check up on Paisley here real quick. And a 1-0 pitch in play, and Yelich reaches on an infield single to first. Had to get Paisley some water and a snack. And then I was going to try to get her some strawberries, but I didn't have time to cut any. But luckily I had some blueberries on hand, so got to make sure that she's taken care of. Next up is Andrew Vaughn. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Dave in the building. How are you? All day in the building. What's good? The Mariners are playing well. We're getting great support today. Todd started it off with a 10er all day. Then we got a 5er from 757. And then we got SCG with 100 for me and a 50 for Paisley. Things are good. And again, I always pray, that the Mariners, and any team that I end up, obviously doing a broadcast, for, does well, especially if it ends up being. There's Paisley walking, as you can see, making her way. She wants to be able to watch the game, but also hoping that, things go well, that we can get the right support. And, today has been definitely a blessed day. 1-1 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Vaughn. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Vaughn. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees with a sweeper. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Vaughn. And again, I never will lose hope, in this team, no matter how, bad things get. Yesterday was one of the worst losses in franchise history, but I actually thought we would play well today. And I know I'm not the only one. Now, did I think that we would be at 7 runs within the first 2 innings? No, but I was hoping that we were going to play well. And, the game isn't over yet, but again, the Brewers are out of challenges. We got 4 runs, early on in the first, 3 in the second. We haven't been able to get anything, since then. But again, it feels like, there may be another inning or 2 where we could end up getting a couple more. 3-2 pitch, popped up into deep left field. Randy is there back at the warning track and caught, and that is 1 away. Mike in the building. Thank you. I appreciate it. She just turned 5, and honestly, I've never really been in love before, if I'm really being real. I've had a couple long, relationships, but I don't think it was really like real. It was more like it started off probably pretty good, and then you just kind of get comfortable with someone and you just kind of know you're not really right for each other, but then you end up kind of going from love to like to kind of like roommates kind of thing. And I've had that a couple times. But with Paisley, again, when you have that unconditional love and they rely on you so much, I go above and beyond for her. We're walking 5 miles a day, 7 days a week. She gets all the hugs and kisses. I mean, probably 50 to 100 I love yous and 50 to 100 hugs and kisses every day, and has really turned my life around for the better. Little slow dribbler towards first and a nice tag on Laura there by Josh Naylor. And that is 2 away. And, everyone's situation is different. Some people have been married multiple times. Some people find the love of their life in high school. Some people are fine, being single and dating. Some people are fine with not having kids. And some people are happy having 5 to 6 kids. Everyone obviously is in a different boat, and every situation is completely fine, depending on the person. But, for me, like to be able to have that stability and that love at the time of the life that I was at the time, I definitely needed it. And, you just never know, what might be your saving grace in life. And Paisley definitely was mine. First pitch into Jory Ortiz is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. C in the building. What's good? Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Ortiz. Nice splitter there, but just missing the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second and 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 7-2 Mariners. Yeah, and obviously Paisley's my sole dog. I had a purebred Samoyed growing up, but I think it was really more like the family dog rather than like my dog. I love that dog, tremendously, but with Paisley, it's a little bit different. She spends pretty much every single, minute of her life with me. And also knowing that for every day that I'm alive, that's like 7 days for a dog. So when you have the mentality and the love and appreciation, big swing and a miss, down goes Ortiz, and that is out number 3. But every day that you wake up, you have to realize for a dog, it's like 1 week is a day. So if you're able to go above and beyond for your dog, to be able to take them for walks and let them stick their head out the window of the car, take them to places to enjoy life and let them sniff and, not rush, on walks. You just got to be able to understand. Once you understand and have that love and compassion, for not just a soul dog, it could be a soul cat or a soul animal that you have, but once you realize that, we live a lot longer, and, they might be a part of your life, but, their life is their whole life, to the individual. And, it just kind of, it makes you feel, something a little bit different, realizing how much they depend on you. And there's so many bad situations with dogs and cats that are out there, people that don't treat them the right way. And, it just feels good. It's like one of the things I'm the most proud of in my life is that knowing that I am making a difference in Paisley's life and trying to give her the best life possible. And that definitely makes me, go to sleep every night feeling that I did something right. All right, let's go to the top of the 5th inning, and let's see if the Mariners can do something right and add on another run or two on the board. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a K, DHing Taylor Ward. And batting third in the 9-hole, shortstop, 0 for 2 with a K. Let's get your first hit of the game, Brock Rodden. Trident's up, let's go M's. 16 subs to go, do 24,600. Less than 500 to go, do 25,000. And we are getting closer and closer to that 200 number on the Dono train. Already hit goal number 1. We're trying to go for goal number 2. And let's see where we're at. We're at 99 likes. Can we get one person to hit the like button out of the 155 so we can hit 100 and we'll be on our way? And that is popped up by Cal in the left, and that is 1 away. We just need one person to hit the like button. We'll be at 100, and hopefully we'll be able to get you to 150 to 200 before the stream ends. And I think every pet owner, cat, dog, or whatever pet it is, exactly, and it's like, with the Mariners, not being the greatest, there's been a lot of days where Paisley has definitely made up for the terrible beatdown that we have taken, in the season and whatnot. So, just knowing that you have, someone that loves you unconditionally, that's always going to be there for you, always excited to see you, and, the love that you put in, the effort that you put in, for your dog and cat, you get back tenfold. Facts. First pitch is low and away to Taylor Ward, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Taylor Ward. 1-1 pitch, fouled into right field and behind the plate, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Taylor Ward. Yeah, when pets pass away, it is the worst feeling, and a lot of pain goes involved with that, as Taylor Ward ends up getting out, and that is 2 away. But again, you have to appreciate every single day that they're with you, and again, the loss of an animal, especially a soul dog or soul cat, it's not something that you're going to get over. Like I'm going to be a mess, and I already know it, but again, I'm just trying to be able to live every day to the fullest with her and appreciate every single minute that I have while we're both alive. Next up is Brock Rodden. One pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hall to Rodden. And I don't think a lot of people realize, the soul dog, soul cat situation unless you actually have it happen yourself. Like you see those people that post, a lot of cat and dog pictures, but if you've never had the experience, you just don't get it. You don't understand. You just think, oh, there's obsessed, with their dog or cat. Just like when people post a lot of, kid photos or baby photos, if you don't have that yourself, you don't fully get it, but then once it actually happens to you, whether it's a kid or a cat or a dog, whatever the situation may be, once it actually happens, then you start to understand, what everyone, has been experiencing before you. Pitch is inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hall to Rodden. 2-2 pitch and into the dirt. Little check swing by Rodden. Wish he would have been patient there. Flip the first, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th and see who's next up for the Brew Crew. mean, for me, like I started to kind of cry and get emotional even when she started to turn like, 1-2 years old. Just the idea of not having that comfort around, on a daily basis, but she's 5 now, and, I can't express, into words, what she means to me, and it's always going to be that way. All right, next up for the Brewers in the 9-hole, 0 for 1. Shortstop Cooper Pratt. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, Bryce Terang. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a K, left fielder Jackson Churio. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th, and a fantastic day here for the Mariners and here on the channel with amazing people coming through like Todd with a 10er, 757 with a 5er, and STG with 100, a 50, and a 5er. Appreciate you guys very, very much. First pitch into Pratt is a strike, 0-1 count. Xavier in the building, what's good? Oh, 1 pitch, little blooper into shallow right. Ward is there, good catch, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Good job there by Taylor Ward. First game back after having a little minor injury, and Ward hasn't really been able to get more than typically 1 hit a game is usually what he's normally getting. But again, we can't complain. There's a lot of guys that couldn't even get a hit. Just ask Rob Ruffsnyder. Next up, second baseman, leadoff hitter Bryce Terang. On deck is Jackson Churio. First pitch from Gilbert to Terang, 97-mile-an-hour, 4-seam fastball, low and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning, 7-2 Seattle. One pitch, low and at the knees, 87 mile an hour. Change up there by Logan. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Terang. Gilbert's at 78 pitches, so still on pace to be able to pitch 6-7 innings. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Terang. And remember, Gilbert started off 0-2 when we lost the opening day against the Guardians. And again, has been able to, rebound, obviously, the win-loss record and, catapult himself all the way back to being number 1 again. Broken bat, throw to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. A couple broken bats here today. Always, man. I don't let any loss. I mean, we could literally lose 30-0, and I still wouldn't be fazed by it. Again, but I'm built a little bit different compared to the average Mariner fan. I've already been a fan of this team for almost 40 years. So, and again, I've seen it all, and again, a lot of fans that have been fans since the 70s or the mid 80s, like myself, or the 90s, or even the early 2000s. I mean, if you can watch a team for 20 years and know they have no hope to make the playoffs, but still enjoy the team and the players, you're built different. And again, it's just nice to know that we're no longer, in that boat as we get a line drive into left, a 1-hopper to Randy Arozarena, and Churio there with the single. So again, if you can go 20 years, and know that you have no hope of making the playoffs and you still enjoy your favorite team, then obviously that you're mentally tough and you truly do love, baseball, and you love the Mariners. And I know I'm not the only one. Next up is Jake Bauers. But I do believe, from 2022, when we first ended up making it off that Cal Raleigh home run off the Athletics to propel us on that 20-year drought, 2022 to 2042, hopefully we'll make the playoffs 10 to 12 times in 20 years, and then 1 or 2 times we'll make the World Series. We may not win the first time that we go, especially if we play a team like the Dodgers, but I do have faith that good things can happen, and we'll see if, Hollander and DePoto and Wilson and some of those guys are going to be a part of it or not. Strong throw by Cal, and Rodden falls down as he gets run into by Churio. Hopefully they're okay. They look like they bumped knees there, and Churio's knee got banged up there a little bit, and Churio is safe, but now is hobbling. And again, there's a lot of people that turned the game off yesterday, but me, doing this as a full-time job, I don't get the opportunity to turn the game off, and things are going bad. I have a responsibility to myself, the channel, and everyone watching that no matter how bad things get, I gotta finish, and there probably wasn't a lot of people, across the globe that finished that game from first pitch to last pitch, but you got to be able to go through those experiences, not only in life, but, for the Mariners, you got to understand when things are going good and when things are going bad. And a lot of times when things go bad for the Mariners, they go really, really bad. But again, look at us today, 7 runs in the first 2 innings. I mean, the game's not over yet, but we're obviously sitting in a good spot as long as the bats can continue to hopefully come alive and the bullpen ends up not shitting the bed. And again, we used our, bad bullpen pieces yesterday. So Spire, Ferrer, and Bizzardo will be available. And we know some of those guys haven't been that great lately, but better than Rucker or Davila or Simpson. So we have to be thankful for that. Vargas is getting close to coming back. I've been watching him on the Tacoma Rainiers. He's looking good. We're still waiting on Criswell and Brash. And once we can get the 3 guys that have been injured in the pen that have been injured for the last couple months, then we won't have to worry about Simpson, Davila, or Rucker anymore. They can go back to AAA and we can feel a little bit more stability. And we added Sir Anthony Dominguez in the Castillo trade, even though he's been kind of hit or miss. But, I just want to be able to have like MLB guys in our bullpen, not half MLB guys and half AAA guys. And unfortunately, that's what we've had this season. And the bullpen has cost us 30, 40, 50 games this year. That's facts. Pitch is low and away. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Bauers, and that is out number 3. And every time the Brewers look like they're going to threaten, Logan Gilbert and Cal Raleigh get the job done. Great job. And again, it was very important that we actually had a good pitcher today. After having our worst pitcher, Bryce Miller, on the mound, they need to move him to the bullpen and call Cade Anderson up. But of course, the Mariner front office is not very smart. But again, we needed to have our best on the mound today. And thankfully, Logan Gilbert was on the mound, because if we ended up having someone else, we probably are not up 7-2 right now. All right, let's see who's up next here as we go to the top of the 6th, and let's see if we can add on another run or 2 on the board. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 2 with 2 runs and a base on ball. The guy that got the party started and set the tone, Brandon Donovan. Batting second, 1 for 2 with 2 runs and a K, Randy Arosarena. And batting third, 2 for 2 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a walk, Dominic Canzone. And again, all 3 guys got hits to start the game off, and we need more of that moving forward. 16 subs to go to 24,600, less than 500 to go to 25,000. Gained another sub moments ago. Thank you so much. 15 subs to go to 24,600. Let's see where we're at on the likes. Got 178 in the room. All right, we're at 114, 86 to go. First pitch takes a strike, looking high and away, 0-1 count. Just checking Cash App and Venmo, just making sure I'm not forgetting anybody if they're donating that way. 0-1 pitch, four-seam fastball, low and away. Call is overturned from a strike to a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss with a slider high and away, 88 miles an hour there by Hall. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hall to Donovan. Randy Arozarena on deck. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Good take there by Brendan Donovan. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hall to Donnie. And again, the whole reason that we got Donnie in the offseason is to solidify that, leadoff position. And again, remember how good we were when we had Ichiro. And again, no disrespect to Julio and Randy and JP Crawford and a lot of these other guys that have tried to do it. Cole Young had some pretty good success as of late, but Cole isn't really a leadoff guy. He does better a little bit lower in the lineup. I think I would rather have Cole batting third, but he can bat anywhere 1 through 9, and he's proven it. But having Donnie healthy as a hitter and a defender, nobody is going to play that position better to set the tone, and he's proven it, in the last few games. And just imagine if we would have had Donnie all year, he probably would be sitting at 15 to 22 home runs. And obviously getting a lot of RBIs, and we probably would have 5 to 10 more wins than we do right now. Facts. Maybe even more than that. Same thing with the bullpen. If we didn't have Brash, Criswell, or Vargas injured all year, we probably would have 5 to 10 more wins with those guys available as well. And Donnie draws the walk. Great at bat by Brandon Donovan. And it just feels like we have this new swagger and confidence when Donnie is the leadoff hitter. I feel more confident in this team, and it's rubbed off on Rodden, Robles, which in the past you didn't really know if Robles would do anything, but it seems like he's getting a little bit better, with Donnie as the leadoff guy. And it's obviously trickling over to some of the other guys, Randy, Dom, Julio, Naylor, Cole, Cal, and even guys like Taylor Ward that was injured that is back in the lineup here again. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Hall to Arozarena. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch, a little dribbler up the middle. Could be a double play. Throw to first. Got him. And Randy Arozarena, unfortunately, hitting into a double play. But thankfully, we haven't hit into too many today. Next up is the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's see if we can get a Dom bomb. I would really like to see us hit a home run before this game is over. Get the Frappuccino machine out. Get the pasta out, just like Team Italy had. There in the WBC, both Dom and Julio are stuck at 19 home runs. Next will be 20 for both. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hall to Canzone. And again, we don't have to worry about catching, the Rays or the Yankees or, White Sox or Guardians. We just got to be able to slowly but surely hope that the Astros and Rangers, have injuries themselves, and then they start to hit a wall, and then we can start to play well and just steadily climb up the standings. I don't wish injuries, on anybody, like long term, but injuries are a part of the game. And if that ends up helping the Mariners, kind of climb the Rangers and the Astros, we've already had our fair share. We've had more injuries in 2026 than in any year that I can ever remember. And I've been watching for 40. So, again, we got to fight the adversity. 3-2 pitch, and down goes Dom. Big swing and a miss, and that is out number 3. Yeah, and I know I'm going to be an absolute mess, but I'll have to get another one, for just my mental health. obviously with, depression and anxiety, from the past, but just to be able to have that comfort. Not everyone's got a husband or wife. Not everyone's got a girlfriend or boyfriend, and not everyone's got kids. So sometimes you got to be able to have, that dog or cat in a certain point in your life, that's either going to teach you patience or love or both. And, it'll be a tough day, when that happens with Paisley, but I'll definitely be able to show love. No one will ever replace her, no one, but again, there'll be an opportunity for me to open up my heart and my soul to another dog. And, I know that day will come, and I'll be able to, treat that dog the same type of way and go above and beyond and know that I'm making a difference in life. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see who's next up for the Brew Crew. Next up for the Brewers, 0 for 2 in the 4-hole, catcher William Contreras. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, DHing Christian Yelich. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. And Gilbert's at 87 pitches, so getting close to coming out. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big strike right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Contreras. And, and again, regardless if it's a dog or a cat, obviously dogs are a little bit more maintenance, because of the walking and whatnot. And obviously, if you have depression or anxiety, obviously a good thing to be able to solve that is exercise. And obviously you can't necessarily walk a cat the same way that you can walk a dog, depending on the dog breed that you have. And if you have kind of a high maintenance dog breed where they need to, get an hour and a half outside every day, there is no, I don't feel like it, you have to do it. And not only has it improved her life, Paisley's, but it's also improved my health. I dropped 100 pounds and I've been able to keep it off, for the last 2 to 3, 4 years. And, I don't want to go back to the person that I was back then. And also I've changed my diet as well. And, sometimes you got to make those tough decisions. But again, you only have one life. So 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Contreras. Again, there's some good people that are out there, but again, with pets, with dogs and cats, a lot of times they are going to be better than people. I mean, I don't think that's like a controversial statement. I think, dogs and cats are going to give you that unconditional love, and you're not going to get unconditional love from every person that's out there that you meet, And everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard, but ultimately everyone wants to feel love, right? And you're going to get that with a soul dog or a soul cat. Facts. All right, a walk there from Gilbert. He's on the end of his run here, but we want him to finish strong. Next up is Christian Yelich. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Yelich. And same thing with Brooks. We used to party together. We were both unhealthy, had bad habits, partied way too much, drank way too much. Both were overweight and both were depressed and had anxiety and, and a lot of other things. And, he's been able to run ultra marathons and half marathons. And, he's sober now and he's lost 100 pounds and he's doing things that he never thought he could do. And it's just, I'm really proud, of people that, end up changing their life for the better. And I think both me and Brooks have proven that here in the last couple of years. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Yelich. All right, SCG, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your love towards myself, the channel, and Paisley. Hope to see you soon again. And thank you so much for your generosity, really setting the tone, on what this channel can be and what it was last season. Todd with a tenner, 757 with a fiver, and then SCG with 100, a 50, and a fiver. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I look forward to talking to you again soon. And thank you so much for your generosity to the channel. Lots of MVPs today, but SCG holding it down for the top spot tonight. 3-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Yelich. 3-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, fading out of play. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour to Christian Yelich. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope the bullpen is lights out. That's what we're going to need. Gilbert on the mound and Christian Yelich in the box. On deck is Andrew Vaughn. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Three-two pitch, and now we got runners at first and second. You got to pull Logan now. First and second with no outs. And Logan really wanted to be able to finish this inning, or at least try to, but he's at pitch 100. But a pair of walks here. And it looks like Eduard Bizardo's coming out and had some meltdowns, in the last month. And we just got to hope that we get the good Bizardo, not the bad. Bottom of the 6th with runners at first and second with no outs, and we need Bizardo to get a couple cheap outs. We don't even need strikeouts, just pop up ground ball outs or even a double play. Strikeout and a double play and a strikeout, double play and a pop up, double play and a ground ball out, whatever it may be. $15 subs to go to 24,600. Let's see where we're at on the likes as we're going to the bottom of the 6th with the pitching change. Bizardo for Gilbert. And we're at 125 likes, 75 to 200. And we're at 170 on the Dono train, 30 to go to 200. Thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, Bizardo. We're in the bottom of the 6th. We got a 7-2 lead. Runners at first and second with no outs. Back-to-back walks for Gilbert. And first pitch, high and inside, almost hits Andrew Vaughn in the shoulder. Come on, Bizardo. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a nice, beautiful strike there with the sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Bottom of the 6th. Mariners up by 5, 7-2 on the Brew Crew. Much better than being down 22-0 like we were yesterday, let me tell you. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Beautiful sinker there with some good speed and location. Looks like he just got a piece of it as it went into the mitt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Vaughn. One-two pitch. And a little blooper in front of Julio Rodriguez. And now we got bases loaded with no outs. Come on, Bizzardo. I'm not sure if I would have went with Bizzardo. I think I probably would have went with Ferrer or Spire, but all right, next up in the 7-hole, center fielder Luis Lara. On deck is Joey Ortiz. And again, we got to limit the damage here. If they're going to score, we can't let them score more than 1 or 2 runs here, preferably 1, but we have no outs. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. And we got to keep it at 7-3 or 7-4 at the very, very most. You know, we don't want them to get it to 7-5 or 7-6, because if that happens, we may not win this game. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Nice sinker there. 96 miles an hour there by Bizzardo. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Lara. Julie in the building. How are you? Yeah, well, Hancock doesn't deserve to go in the pen, but Bryce does. His numbers have been terrible. He hasn't won a game since July 2nd. So it's not Hancock or Miller, it's Miller. We got to keep Hancock in the starting rotation. Big swing and a miss and a nice punch out there by Bizzardo. But again, we'll see if we end up calling up Cade or not. But obviously having one of the best AA seasons of all time. ERA of under 2, 10-1 record. Unbelievable K to strikeout, to walk, ratio. Next up is Joey Ortiz with the sweeper, is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. We could really use a double play here if we can get one. Yeah, Sloan ain't going to come up until next season, but obviously could we use him, in the bullpen today? Yeah, of course. But we are going to be getting Brash, Criswell, and Vargas back shortly, so there's not really room for Sloan at the moment. But, Cade has more of an argument right now than Sloan, and Cade's been a little bit more consistent than Sloan. But Sloan will be on the team, you would think, next season, in the bullpen at least. 1-1 pitch. High and away, sinker missing outside, 97 miles an hour. And we also need Lazaro Montes in right field, and that'll be our future right fielder for years to come whenever he gets called up. And then Michael Arroyo looks pretty damn good as well, even though he's an infielder. We got a bright future, as far as those 4 guys. And now we got a mound visit by Cal. Yeah, but you're probably not going to get Sloan until next year, and you're probably not going to get, Lazaro Montes or Arroyo until next year as well, unless there's like a crazy amount of injuries, and even if that happens, they may not get called up yet. But you have to assume Cade is next up, but, are they smart enough to move Bryce to the pen and call Cade up? I don't know if they're smart enough to realize it or not. I mean, I think if you were going to call players up, I think the ones that would be the most beneficial to the team would be Lazaro Montes and Cade Anderson. Anderson 1, Lazaro 2, based on how they've been playing lately. But, and then Arroyo and Sloan maybe next season. Because we already got Cole Young. So, we don't, Arroyo's not taking Young's job. There's no, Young has been the only bright spot of the year, And Sloan is good, but he needs a little bit more reps, in my opinion. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. And you got to also realize that, both guys, Anderson and Sloan, they're not even in AAA yet, and it's very possible that Cade could skip AAA, but I don't think Sloan will. Sloan will have to pitch in AAA and then prove that he can do it there, and then he'll get called up. But Cade could ultimately skip AAA and get called up because his numbers are better. 2-2 pitch. And sweeper is outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Come on, Bizzardo. Power code in the building. What's good? Yeah, you can't really trust Hollander, DePoto, or Dan Wilson. And hopefully in the near future, all 3 of those guys will not be a part of the organization. But realistically, Dan is going to be the one that, will be gone first. Hollander and DePoto's jobs are a little bit safer. Three-two pitch. And popped up. Get it. Get it. Yes, caught. Throw it. And then runner tags up, but that's okay. 1 run scores, but I can handle that. And now it's 7-3. At least we ended up catching that ball there in right field. Good job by Dom. Good sac fly there. And we just need 1 more out. And thankfully, we were able to put up 4 runs in the first and 3 runs in the second. So that way, when this rally potentially could come against our bullpen after Logan Gilbert, we still, have a little bit of a cushion. But we want to make sure we get as close to getting to 10 runs as possible, because you just never know when the Brewers might go off. So. Oh, and that actually hits the runner. And Cal's trying to get the runner out, and it hit Yelich in the head there. Plunked him right on the helmet. And how did Yelich catch his helmet after getting plunked in the head? He's got some really good hand-eye coordination. Gets plunked in the head, batting helmet flies off. He's able to catch it, look around, and then still get to third base. But we got to get this out here. One pitch from Bizzardo to Pratt. Check swing. Did he go? And no, he did not. 2 balls and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Pratt. Two-one pitch in there for a strike. 97 miles an hour right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 7-3 Seattle. Yeah, Sal Stewart's having a great year. There's a lot of players having amazing years, in 2026. Not just Yordan Alvarez and Pete Crow Armstrong and Shohei Ohtani. Big swing and a miss. Woo! Big out there by Eduard Bizzardo, who's had meltdowns like out of 7 out of the last 11. So thankfully, he ends up giving up the sac fly, but I think we can all live with that, considering there was bases loaded. So, and, Logan ended up walking his first 2 batters, and he kind of left us in a tough spot. So good job there by Eduard Bizzardo, and we haven't really been able to say that often in the last month. And we still got a 4-run lead, but let's see if we can make up that run that we just gave up. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with an RBI. It's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Would love for Julio to hit a home run. It would be number 20 on the season. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run and a walk. Time to get your first hit. Second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're at 170 on the Dono train, 30 to go. 15 subs to go to 24,600. See where we're at on the likes as we go to the top of the 7th inning, and a great way for the Mariner organization to respond after getting whooped yesterday. And I'm really proud of this organization. You know, obviously the front office, is not good, but again, we just got to be able to take it one game at a time. All right, we're at 135 likes, 65 to 200. Appreciate that power code. And that's because Brooks is one of the most talented people on planet Earth. It's one of those things, everything is all, him. He doesn't take samples off other artists and whatnot, and started playing the piano at a very, very young age. And he just has a great musical ear, and I know if he keeps continuing, down this path, good things will happen, whether it ends up being a rapper or a singer that's super famous that buys a beat off of him, and then it introduces him into a circle of other people that will end up buying his beats and whatnot. But, it's just great to be able to have a friend that has dreams and goals like myself. And, it's an honor to be able to have his music exclusively here on the channel. And again, anything that, drops that's new, that obviously I think that would be a good fit, you're going to hear it here first. Pitch fouled off and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And a little dribbler up the middle, throw to first. And Julio hustling to first, but not in time. And that is 1 up and 1 down. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to go against Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubbies. Can't wait for that. Next up is Josh Naylor. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. First pitch to Josh Naylor is high and away, 1-0 count. Never seen the Cubs before, but that would probably be the National League team that I would want to see the most out of any National League team. That would be the one that I would want to see at T-Mobile one day. 1-0 pitch and a line drive into left, and Josh Naylor seeing the baseball very well in the last month and a half, and another base knock for Nails. Good job, Josh. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I went to Chicago on a business trip for a week, but I didn't get a chance to see a Bears game or a Cubs game. But I did get a chance to see a Bulls game, which was pretty cool. Not as cool if like Jordan and Pippen were there, obviously, but obviously seeing the Cubbies would have been amazing at Wrigley, but just didn't have the chance to do it when we were there. I don't think it was the right time of year, so. Because I think at the time of year when we went, I think it was like December, I believe, because there was snow. We went on a business trip there. So 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees, but I think the Bears were playing that week. But obviously, when you're there for work and business and whatnot, But I did get a chance to bar hop and party with some of the employees and whatnot. That was fun. 3-0 pitch. Gets a strike high and away. Sinker there by Wilson. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first with 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 7-3 Seattle. Tridents up. Three-one pitch, pop behind the plate and out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Young. even though the Dodgers haven't been playing that well since they've acquired Scooball, doesn't mean that they can't go all the way and win back-to-back World Series. They obviously do very well, during the regular season, and they turn it up in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes as Young strikes out swinging, and that is 2 away. But, Yordan Alvarez is playing amazing. He'll get the AL MVP since Judge has been hurt this year. And then it's going to come down to Pete Crow Armstrong or Shohei Ohtani. It would be cool if Pete Crow Armstrong were to, get it, and we would have 2 new players, get the award. But we know how many people love Ohtani and Judge in baseball. So first pitch to Cal Raleigh, fouled that one off, 0-1 count. And based on Cal's season, and then seeing what Cal is doing this year being injured, he probably should have won the MVP for the American League or got at least, the very least, co-MVP with Judge. I mean, you're probably not going to see a catcher hit 60 home runs ever again, and if you are, it's probably not going to be for a very long time. And a huge jump there and safe. Stolen bag by Josh Naylor. I mean, the most home runs a catcher has ever hit in the history of baseball was 48. Cal obliterated that record by 12 and still didn't get recognition, but it is what it is. And I know Cal will be able to get back to, hitting 20 to 35 home runs, on the regular. And when you get injured, sometimes it's hard, to get back into a rhythm. 1-1 pitch. Cal pops it up. Shallow center field. And caught, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next year for the Brew Crew. It was Bulls Warriors against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson back in the day, and Draymond Green. KD wasn't on the team that year. All right, let's see who's next up here for the Brewers. In the bottom of the 7th inning, next up 0 for 2 with a base on ball, second baseman Bryce Terang. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a K, left fielder in the 2-hole, Jackson Churio. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, playing right field tonight in the 3-hole, Jake Bowers. Trident's up, let's go M's. 15 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 170 on the Dono train, 30 to go to get to 200. And let's see where we're at on the likes. Hopefully we can hit somewhere in that 150 to 200 range. And we're at 138, 62 to 200. Trident's up. Let's go M's, baby. All right, Jose Ferrer is coming in for Bizzardo. All right, Ferrer, let's go, baby. We need the good Ferrer, not the bad. All right, bottom of the 7th inning, 7-3 M's. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. He celebrated a birthday yesterday as well. Happy birthday, Brooks. First pitch into Bryce Terang, takes a strike looking with a sinker. 97 miles an hour right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch and a hard hit ball into shallow left. Randy is there, and that is 1 away. 1 up and 1 down. And Randy is going to be one of the biggest free agent names besides Scooball and a few others. Him and Hap are really the only left fielders that are going to be available. But again, if we can call up Lazaro Montes and then move over Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley in left, that might solve that problem. Yeah, I haven't had it for a few days now. I ended up having a mic issue on one of them, so I decided to use one, and then I had it kind of covering my face too much, so then I had to experiment with the volume to make sure that if I'm not too close to it, it can still pick up my voice. And there was a little trial and error and whatnot, but I like this setup better. And again, sometimes you got to go through, a lot of the tweaks with the equipment to make sure, like you find the right volume for the music, the right volume for the microphone, making sure you got the right photos and the right music. There's a lot of preparation that goes involved for me to do this on the daily. And, but I am very pleasantly surprised and happy with everything, the way that it looks and sounds. And this will be the way the channel looks moving forward. 2-1 pitch and a little line drive and a one hopper into Julio's glove. And Churio with another single right up the middle. All right, Ferrer, let's see if we can get a double play here now on batter number 3, right fielder today, Jake Bowers. But when I was having streaming issues and mic issues, I had to really rush, and the placement of the mic on the first night was not what I wanted. It was like covering up half of my face, but I just wanted to have it going. But trial and error. And now we've been like this for more than a week or so, maybe a week or two. So pitch fouled off and out of play. Sinker high and inside there by Jose Ferrer. And also, if you notice, I'm a little bit farther back on the screen than what I was. I was a lot closer in the old broadcast. So 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is 2 away. So I do think Mooney will close tonight, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow as well. I mean, if we have a similar performance like today, and we're still ahead at that point, and we have it, a good outing and showing tomorrow, there's a chance that Mooney could close both games. And strong throw to first, and it's a little high and into the dugout. Brock Rodden, not knowing his own strength there, overthrowing Josh Naylor by about 10 feet. And now we got runners at second and third with 2 outs. Come on, Brock. I mean, we can't have J.P. Crawford all over again. And it was a nice scoop, but you just let that ball carry way over Naylor's. Naylor couldn't even jump and get that ball. I mean, he couldn't even have gotten that ball if he was Manute Bol or George Murasan or anybody. You could be 7-7, 7-8, and you still wouldn't have gotten that ball. Big error there, and hopefully that will be the last. Next up is Christian Yelich. Oh, 1 pitch popped behind the plate and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Ferrer to Yelich. Yeah, I think we'll play well tomorrow. And they got Sir Anthony Dominguez warming up. It kind of feels like the Astros series, an emotional loss in game 1, responding immediately in game 2. And there we go. Bang, number 3. And that is a great outing there by Jose Ferrer. And again, we've been able to put up 7 runs in every game, to come back. Game 2 and game 3. And then we've done it here in game 2. So I don't know what it is about the number 7, but it is lucky, I guess. And we hit 777s now in game 2 and 3 against the Astros, 7 or more. And doing it again here in game number 2 against the Brew Crew. All right, let's see if we can add on another run or 2 to make up for the runs that we've given up. Let's see who's up next year for the Mariners. Welcome back to the lineup in the 8-hole, DHing today, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 Ks, Taylor Ward. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, and he has an error. You got to make up for that, Brock. I need a hit, Brock Rodden. And batting third, the guy that really got the party started and set the tone early. 2 for 2, 2 runs, 2 walks. Third baseman, Brandon Donovan. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $15 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 170 on the dono train, 30 to go. And let's see if we can get to 150 to 200 on the likes. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And hopefully we'll be able to end in somewhere between 150 and 200 in the like category. We're at 141. We're definitely pacing perfectly. Good job, Bizzardo. Good job, Ferrer. Good job, Gilbert. And then we'll have Sir Anthony Dominguez come out in the bottom of the 8th, and then probably Mooney in the 9th. Good job, Gilbert. Good job, Bizzardo. Good job, Ferrer. All right, first pitch into Taylor Ward is in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Wilson on the mound, Ward in the box. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Taylor Ward. And another advantage is, them losing, their challenges in the very beginning of the game. Kind of like when Randy challenged twice, early in the game. And, when you have no challenges after the first inning, it doesn't make you feel that good. You already know you're in trouble because there could be a couple controversial plays and you want to make sure you have access to some of those challenges and whatnot. 2-1 pitch. Like in that game where Randy challenged twice and lost twice in the first inning, I kind of felt like, oh God, that's not what you want, to happen. And that's kind of a similar situation for the Brewers today. 2-1 pitch, Mariners challenge. And I think we're out of challenges now. So both teams out of challenges now, I believe. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Ward. 2-2 pitch. And Ward pops it up into shallow right. And caught, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Bryce Terang with the catch. All right, come on, Brock. Get your first hit of the game. Make up for the error. On deck is Brandon Donovan. First pitch into Rodden is a ball. 1-0 count. Pitch. Hard hit ball in the right field. And it drops. Fair. Go, go, go. Get a double. Maybe even a triple. Oh, he's going for 3. He's going for 3. Go, baby, go. Woo! Triple for Brock Rodden. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And that's exactly what you want. You mess up, you end up overthrowing Josh Naylor by 10 feet and it goes in the dugout. And look at that. Brock Rodden, after struggling and not getting a hit all day, getting a triple. And we've been able to get a few triples lately. Victor Robles had back-to-back games with a triple. That's not been done by any Mariner in many, many years. And then now we get the rookie, right? Straight fresh from the Tacoma Rainiers, filling in for Colt Emerson. Brock Rodden, great job. Next up is Brandon Donovan. Let's see if Donnie can get an RBI and knock him in. I mean, even a sac fly will work. We only have 1 out. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wilson to Brandon Donovan. Let's go, Donnie. And I love seeing, young players do well, especially if it's guys that we draft. I'm definitely more partial to guys that we draft and develop rather than getting rentals or guys from other teams. Not to say that I don't appreciate Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone. I do, but I definitely, appreciate the guys that we draft a little bit more. Homegrown. 1-2 pitch, high and away. Very excited about Arroyo and Lazaro Montes, and especially Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. I mean, the next jersey I buy is Cole Young, and then after that, it's going to be Cade Anderson, and he hasn't even pitched in the big leagues yet, but I'm already going to invest, and he could be the next Clayton Kershaw, for the Mariners, and I'm excited to see what he'll do, especially with the dominance that he had at LSU, winning the Natty, 10-1 record, sub-2 ERA, one of the best records in ERAs and strikeout to walk ratio in AA history. And again, I think he would do the same type of thing in AAA. And we have no more challenges, even though Donnie wanted a challenge there, but no challenges. And that is 2 away. And that was on the line. And I think that even if we did have a challenge left, I don't think we would have won it. All right, next up is Randy Arozarena. We still got Rodden at third. Let's not waste it. First pitch into Randy is in there for a strike with a cutter. 89 miles an hour there by Wilson, 0-1 count. 1 for 3 with a single, 2 runs, and he also got hit by a pitch. And he's definitely taken over the Ty France role on the guy that gets hit the most. And France is having a breakout year for the Padres, and I'm happy for him. Line drive that hits the pitcher, and throw to Randy to first, and out. Damn it. I didn't know if, at least it's nice to see Randy hustle, but Rodden not able to come home in time as Randy is thrown out at first, but at least Rodden made up for the error and got a triple, and that'll be something that he'll be proud of to have on the stat sheet. Yeah, he wasn't able to come home, but how many Mariner players can say, hey, I got a triple in 2026? Not many. It's not like we have Corbin Carroll on the team, who ends up getting a triple, it seems like, on the daily. And he's by far the best in getting triples in the league. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Sir Anthony Dominguez should be coming in, and then hopefully Mooney in the 9th. But let's see who's up next here for the Brew Crew. Next up for the Brewers, 1 for 3 with a K. In the 6th hole, first baseman Andrew Vaughn. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, center fielder Luis Lara. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run. 3 RBIs and a K, third baseman Joey Ortiz. Trident's up. Let's go Elms. $15 subs to go to 24,600, less than 500 to go to 25,000. We're at 170 on the Dono train, 30 to go. And we're at 142 likes. Can we get 8 people to hit the like button so we can get to 150? It'd be greatly appreciated. All right, Sir Anthony Dominguez in the game against Andrew Vaughn. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Sir Anthony Dominguez on the mound, Andrew Vaughn in the box. One-0 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes from Dominguez to Vaughn. Just happy that the Mariners showed up today, and I do believe we're going to play well tomorrow as well. 2-0 pitch, high and inside, 3 balls and no strikes from Dominguez to Vaughn. Come on, Sir Anthony. Logan did his job, right? Bizzardo did his job. Only gave up a sac fly when bases loaded. Ferrer did his. And Vaughn thinks that's ball 4 and makes his way to first base prematurely. No challenges left for either team. 3 balls and 1 strike from Dominguez to Vaughn. But if they were to challenge that, they would have lost. It was on the line. 3 balls and 1 strike from Dominguez to Vaughn. Come on, baby. There we go. Popped up and out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Dominguez to Vaughn. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Three-two pitch. Popped up into right field, fading out of play. Count still is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-3 Mariners. Trident's up. Not many teams could respond like this after getting obliterated 22-0 last night. 3-2 pitch, and that turns into ball 4 on pitch number 6. Or pitch number 7, excuse me. And hopefully we'll be able to get the outs that we need here by Sir Anthony Dominguez. And, Dominguez is definitely up and down. Sometimes good, sometimes not so much. Next up is Luis Lara. On deck is Joey Ortiz. First pitch, high and inside, is a ball, 1-0 count, and Cal with a mound visit. And a good mound visit for Cal because obviously Dominguez is having a hard time hitting the strike zone. Cal's trying to calm him down. And, you don't have to throw as hard as you can. You just got to hit your spots. And, he can pitch 97 to 100, but sometimes you need to dial it back like Mooney. And you got to be able to listen to Cal, and he'll be able to put you in a good position. All right, bottom of the 8th, Mariners up 7-3 with a runner at first and no outs against one of the best teams in baseball. That's 30 games above 500. The Milwaukee Brewers. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. That mound visit was perfect from Cal, and you end up getting him to dial it back a little bit, hit the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez de Lara. 1-1 pitch and a line drive that ends up landing in front of Randy Arozarena in left. And now we got runners at first and second with no outs. Come on, Mariners. We need to get an out, damn it. Next up is Joey Ortiz. On deck is Cooper Pratt. First pitch, wild, and almost hits him. High and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. Nice heater right down the middle, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and no outs. Bottom of the 8th, 7-3 M's. We need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. But Dominguez is all over the place. 1-1 pitch. Popped him up. But it's going out of play. Damn it. All right, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Joey Ortiz. One-two pitch, popped him up, but this one is fading out of play again. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and no outs. Can we get a double play? We need one. Strikeout and a double play and a strikeout. Pop-ups, ground ball outs, we don't care. Fielder's choice, whatever. 1-2 pitch. Almost hits him inside. God, he's got no control. I almost feel like Sir Anthony Dominguez is like Carlos Vargas from last year. Sometimes good, but sometimes bad and really wild and can't hit the strike zone. And Vargas has looked good in AAA on his rehab stint. He'll be joining the team soon, but we need control. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Deep right field fading out of play. I mean, the pitches are all over the place. And then when he finally pitches one down the middle, you know, a lot of times the opponents are able to find a way to get a nice base knock off of it. Got to be able to find a way to pitch in the strike zone and have them, whiff and miss, or just to be able to paint the corner and get the strikeout. And a little dribbler towards first. And runner is coming home, safe. And now we got runners at first and third with no outs, and now they're only down by 3. Fucking A's, Sir Anthony Dominguez. You stink, bud. Fuck, man. Got to get this victory. We cannot let this collapse happen. Shows you how much we miss Brash and Criswell and Vargas. I mean, the same thing that you're typically getting out of like Rucker and, Davila and Simpson should not be happening with a guy that's a pro and Sir Anthony Dominguez, but 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes with runners on the corners, and we still have no outs. And thankfully, the Mariners put up 7 in the first 2 runs, because if we only put up 4 or 5 runs, we probably lose this game. And again, they're threatening. We got to get outs. And a little dribbler up the middle. Give me a double play. Give it to me. Yes. Thankfully, in time, finally, we get them to get something that we can get a double play on. Another run scores, but at least we got 2 outs there. All right, we're only up by 2, but again, double play, and again, when you have no outs, sometimes you got to sacrifice that run to get there. And now it's 7-5, and thankfully we ended up, getting that double play. Sir Anthony Dominguez, you're a bum. You stink. I mean, you're pitching like a AAA pitcher. Brash, Criswell, and Vargas cannot get back to this team soon enough. Oh, man. Nightmare. All right, and now Gabe Spire is coming in, and usually when Gabe comes in and he has to get an out, he usually can be pretty good. He might even get this out on the first pitch, where you might get a cheap pop-up or ground ball out. That's what we're hoping for. And then, then hopefully we can add on one more run, for insurance. Because again, with Mooney, normally when we have a 2-run lead or more, we win. But as we saw last time that Mooney was out, in game 1, even with a 2-run lead, he gave up 5. So we got to be able to put him in the best position. And also in the past, when we've had a tie game or a 1-run lead with Mooney, sometimes he gives up a run and we end up having to go to extra innings to try to, end up getting the victory, or we end up losing. So, got to make sure we have a 2 or 3 run lead going into the bottom of the 9th, hopefully. And we need to have the good Gabe, not the bad. And hopefully the Pat McAfee lookalike will get the job done. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-5 M's. Two errors by the Mariners tonight, too. Unacceptable. Spire on the mound, Bryce Terang in the box. Well, you got to also remember this team put up 22 on us yesterday. They're 30 games above 500. 30. I can't even fathom or imagine Mariners being 30 games above 500. So again, you just got to take it one, batter at a time, one inning at a time. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. You can't expect the Mariners to put up runs every inning, especially against an elite team like this that may end up making the World Series this year. And a little dribbler up the middle. Get it, Cole Young. Yeah. That's how you do it. We had to take a second pitch, but we got it, baby. And we got a 2-run lead still. Let's go. All right, now we go to the top of the ninth, and hopefully we can add on another run or two. And then if for whatever reason that we can't add on another run or two, hopefully we can still win this game 7-5 or 7-6. Cole Clutch Young, baby. Good defense there by Cole. Should have probably started the inning with Spire, and then we wouldn't have had that meltdown. But again, Dan Wilson is a manager, and we obviously know Dan Wilson is not that smart. All right, next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball. Can we get a Dom bomb, baby? I hope so. Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 0 for 3 with an RBI. Time to get your first hit. Both you and Dom are sitting at 19 home runs. We would love for both of you to get to 20. Let's go, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third in the 5-hole, having a great day today, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 15 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 170 on the Dono train, 30 to get to 200. And hopefully we got 8 people that smashed that like button, so we're at 150 and beyond. We got 219 in the room, so hopefully somewhere between 150 and 200 before the stream ends. We're at 153, 47 to 200. Let's go, baby. Top of the 9th inning, Mariners up by 2. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 50th anniversary for the Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. First pitch is on the corner, low and away. Look more of like a ball, but again, no challenges left for either team at this point. And that could have been a 1-0 count, but we'll never know. 0-1. 0-1 pitch to Dom. Low and at the knees, hitting the corner. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Oh-2 pitch. Low and away as it ends up hitting the dirt. 85 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Sensandela on the mound. Dominic Canzone in the box. 1-2 pitch. And Dom pops it up. Should be a routine play in shallow center. And it is caught. And that is 1 away. Next up, center fielder, 0 for 3. Time to get your first hit of the game, Julio Rodriguez. On deck is Josh Naylor, who's had a great game so far. First pitch to Julio, big, swing and a miss, cutter low and away. 92 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And then Mooney is warming up in the pen. We need the good Mooney, not the bad. 0-1 pitch, Julio pops it up. And fading out of play. Cutter 93 miles an hour there by Sensatella. Balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch to Julio. Low and away. Good patience there on that pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. And we've seen some late inning heroics out of Julio, getting singles, doubles, RBIs, and even home runs in the top and the bottom of the 9th in the last month. 1-2 pitch. And just gets a little piece, but throw to first. And that is 2 up and 2 down. Next up for Cincinnati, the 5-hole hitter, first baseman Josh Naylor. 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs today. And then on deck is Cole Clutch Young. Come on, Nails. And first pitch, Naylor pops it up, little blooper into shallow right, and it drops. Let's go. There we go. Nice job by Josh Naylor. 3 for 5 day from Josh. And he's like the only overly aggressive hitter that I guess that can get away with swinging at the first pitch and actually getting hits today. Good job. Even though I'd rather have him be a little bit more patient in the box. Next up is Cole Clutch Young. And let's see if Cole can come up with some magic here for us. Let's go, Young. And first pitch to Young. Line drive into third base and out of play. 0-1 count. Top of the 9th inning. Cincinnati on the mound. Cole Clutch Young in the box. Runner at first, Josh Naylor with 2 outs. Mariners hanging on to a 7-5 lead. And throw to first, and Naylor is safe. Let's go, baby. Got to respond to that horrible loss yesterday. And they definitely responded with 7 runs in the first 2 innings. 0-1 pitch. Inside, low, and at the knees, almost hitting Cole on the leg. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cincinnati to Cole Clutch Young. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Cole. 1-1 pitch. High and inside, hitting the corner with the cutter. 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Come on, Cole. One-two pitch. High and away. Good take there by Cole Young. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cincinnati to Cole Clutch Young. Two-two pitch, high and inside. Did it hit him? Oh, they say he went around. And I guess that's strike 3. All right, here we go. Andres Munoz coming in, and let's just pray that we get the good Mooney, not the bad. But again, we're going to know if it's the good Mooney or the bad Mooney within the first 7 pitches. And hopefully we get 5, strikes out of the first 7 pitches or something of that nature. And we'll see how things kind of play out here. All right, next up in the bottom of the 9th, 3 for 4 with a K, having a good day. Left fielder Jackson Churio. Batting second, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Right fielder today, Jake Bowers. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a run and a walk, catcher William Contreras. And then coming into the game is our closer, Andres Munoz, who was terrible at the beginning of the year, but has gotten progressively better besides the last game that he played. And I believe that it'll be better here today. All right, Mooney. $15 subs to go to 24,600. Less than 500 to go to 25,000. We're at 170 on the Dono train. 30 more to get to 200. And let's see where we're at on the likes. And we should be able to have somewhere in between 150 and 200 before this one is over. And hopefully we can get as close to 200 as possible. And we're at 160. Can we get 40 people to hit that like button to get to 200? That would be greatly appreciated. Andres Munoz on the mound. And Jackson Churio in the box. On deck is Jake Bowers. And then batting third will be, again, William Contreras. All right, come on, Mooney. All-time saves leader in Mariners history. Sasaki 1, Diaz 2, Putz 3, Mooney 4, and Schooler 5. First pitch is high and inside with a four-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Dial back the, 99 to 102. Find your spots. You don't need to throw through the hitter and throw your arm out of the socket. And Robles is in right field now. They show bunt, and we get a strike down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Churio. Bottom of the 9th inning, Mariners hanging on to a 2-run lead. Come on, Mooney. 1-1 pitch to Churio. Popped him up. Stay in play. Stay in play. Stay in play. Robles is in the game. And there we go. Woo! That's 1 away. There we go. We'll take that. Especially after a player like him and Naylor. Both guys have been killing it today. So anytime you can end up getting someone that's, 2 for 4 or 3 for 4, that's going to threaten you, and you can get them out, within the first couple pitches in a pop-up. A sigh of relief for not only Mariner fans, but also for Mooney. Good job. And a good decision to bring in Robles here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch, 100 miles an hour, triple digits right down the middle to Bowers, 0-1 count. Looks like we got the good Mooney so far. Another strike right down the middle. Triple digits again. Four-seam fastball heater. And then again, when he goes with the four seams, that slider is coming at some point. And the issue was the grip on the slider at the beginning of the year. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Change-up missing there. 94 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Mooney to Bowers. You'll have four-seam fastballs. You'll have sliders, sweepers, and again, the changeup that missed there. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Changeup missing again. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Mariners up 7-5 against the Brew Crew. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Let's go. Big punch out. And that is 2 away. All right, we're 1 out away from victory. And this will carry over to tomorrow 100%. Next up is William Contreras. On deck is Christian Yelich. And a little dribbler up the middle. Easy play for Rodden. Throw to first. Ball game. Woo! Let's go. What a victory. And a lot of teams that would have gotten blasted 22-0 easily could have put up another 0 today or like a 1. And for us to throw up a 7, just like we did when we got beat by the Astros in game 1, we responded in back-to-back games with 7 runs. And what do we do against the Brew Crew, one of the best teams in baseball, 30 games above 500? We end up throwing up a 7 spot in the first 2 innings. And thankfully that was enough to get the victory. Amazing. And again, we know that it's going to be tough, in this August stretch. But again, I'm very proud of this team. Again, we could have just rolled over and got just absolutely demolished again. This was a good bounce back win. Now let's go over the stats for both teams. We didn't do the stats yesterday for obvious reasons. All right, let's go over the stats here quickly. All right, Bryce Terang is 0 for 4. Jackson Churio had an amazing game, so that last out on him was huge. 3 for 5 day. Jake Bowers goes 0 for 5 after killing it yesterday. Contreras goes 0 for 4 with a run. Yelich 1 for 2 with a run. Andrew Vaughn 1 for 3 with a run. Luis Lara 1 for 4 with a run. And the player that played the best for them besides Churio, Joey Ortiz with 4 RBIs, believe it or not, and a run. And he had a home run as well. And then Cooper Pratt 0 for 4. And then let's go with the Mariners. Brandon Donovan has really shown when he is healthy, he's the perfect leadoff hitter. 2 for 3 with 2 runs. Great job, Donnie. Randy Arosarena, 1 for 4 with 2 runs. Good job, Randy. Dominic Canzone, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Good job, Dom. Julio Rodriguez, 0 for 4, but did have an RBI. Josh Naylor had a great game, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Cole Clutch Young, 0 for 4. Him and Julio will play better tomorrow. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 3. He'll play better tomorrow as well. Taylor Ward in his first game back, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Good job, Taylor. And then Brock Rodden, 1 for 4 after having an error, ended up getting a triple. So, and again, we ended up getting good performances out of Logan Gilbert. And then obviously we saw Bizzardo and Ferrer do well. Dominguez kind of shit the bed. Spire got the out and cleaned it up. And then obviously we know Mooney got the job done. And again, it feels good to be able to respond after getting beat up like we did yesterday. Great job by the Mariners. And shout out to our fan base. Todd with a 10er. 757 with a 5er. SCG with 100. SCG again with a 50. And SCG with a 5er. And that's not including Cash App and Venmo as well. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. This one feels really, really good. And again, we have an early game tomorrow in the morning. So make sure you check your schedules accordingly and peek ahead so I can give you the exact time. All right, so tomorrow we play at 11:10 Pacific. And so make sure you are ready for that. And we got George Kirby versus Robert Gasser. So Kirby on the mound. So as long as we get the good version of Kirby, we should have a very good chance of being able to, compete with this Brewer team. And if we're lucky enough, we might actually be able to win the series. So final score for the Mariners, 7-5 over the Brew Crew. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up and go Mariners.